What do you remember before the explosion?
I came back to the kitchen. Now the kitchen door is closed. I opened the door and I just saw fire come at me, the blue flame with a bit of orange around it. And I heard a sound, vroom. At that time, I don't remember a feeling. I just remember seeing it. And then the next thing was me getting up from the floor. So between seeing it and whatever got me to the floor, I have no memory of it. I absolutely have no memory. I've never had any memory of what happened in between there. So what I have recorded in my mental hard drive, which has ever been logged there, is vroom, and then I'm getting up. I don't know how I got to the floor.
Hello, my name is Kafui. What's it like to spend over 140 days in hospital, including 6 weeks intensive care, 4 weeks on the ventilator, 4 surgeries, and 12 blood transfusions? My guest is Pierre Kuma, engineer, author, speaker, certified professional coach, and most importantly for this conversation, a true burn survivor. A message from our sponsor. Queuing for your favorite wache, we can accept it. If there's one thing that Ghanaians can relate with, it's queuing. Queuing for trotro, we can accept it. We adjust. We survive. In fact, if queuing was an Olympic sport, we would win gold. But one thing we can't accept, it's queuing to swap your MTN SIM. Swap your MTN SIM yourself in minutes. Visit the My MTN app or dial *1333# to get this done ASAP. No more standing, no more sweating, no more who be the last person. Do it yourself. Simply swap it everywhere you go. And now back to the conversation. Pierre, happy to see you, man.
Glad to see you too.
What are you doing these days?
Which one of them do you want to know? Professionally, personally?
Professionally first.
Professionally, I'm
Yes.
a commercial lead.
Okay.
That means I get involved in business development for my company. And I also lead tenders. You know, my company is a construction company, subsea construction, not construction like buildings. We construct things you don't see.
Okay. Under the
On the
water.
seabed, yeah.
Okay. How deep down?
Ooh, the deepest one I've worked in so far is 2,760 meters
Where?
in Senegal and Mauritania.
Did you go down?
No, we have robots that do that.
Oh, God.
But when you go to countries like Brazil, you know, they go to like 3,000 meters
Wow.
and stuff like that. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So what I basically do is I do business development, trying to understand client needs, what they want, trying to also let them know what we can do for them. Then they would issue something called, we call them ITT, an invitation to tender.
Yeah.
You're Ghanaian, so I know you know this. There's been a lot
Yes.
of education,
Yes. And
to say the
tenders
least,
and things.
in procurement.
Yeah.
So, some people call it RFQ, request for quotation. But basically, I lead the charge, so I let the client know, hey, this is what we're capable of doing. Also understand their needs, know what they are planning to come out with. Then I would come back and do a capture plan, which is internally in my company. How can we win this? You know, strategy, do our SWOT analysis, see what we need to do, see what our chances of winning is, and how to improve those chances. Then finally, the ITT comes out, or the RFQ, and then I lead the charge internally to present a winnable solution to the client. And fingers crossed, we win or lose.
Okay. So I would say you're like a numbers guy.
No, numbers are the finance and accountant people. The less said about them, the better.
Commercial and finance are always fighting.
You said that, not me.
I know I'm a commercial guy, so I know.
Well, for the record, you said that.
I said it.
Those are no more words.
But you need to make it a winnable proposal.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And well, the numbers comes in presenting a commercially attractive proposal, which is, again, you are Ghanaian, so you understand what that means. Maybe you can later explain it to your global audience. But Ghanaians understand what a commercially attractive price is. Then you also need to show that you can actually do the work, present a good technical solution, because that also weighs a lot. And you also need to show track record that this is not your first time you're doing this. Like, you've actually done this before. sometimes in certain parts of the world, they'll be like, show that you know how to actually work in Africa, West Africa, Sub-Saharan Africa. Show that you actually know how to work in remote areas.
Mhm.
So all this goes into it. It's your commercial is there. You need to be technically competent, provide a technical solution to it. Show that you actually have track record. You know what you are doing, because clients are spending a lot of money in there.
When you say a lot, how much?
In the millions
Yeah.
of dollars.
Mhm.
So some of the contracts could be like, some of them could be as low as 50 million, 5 million. Some could go as high as hundreds of millions. Some are like hundreds of billions. Like sometimes it takes like about $1 billion to just do one aspect of developing the field,
The oil field.
the oil field. So when Tullow, Eni, Cosmos, Chevron, Exxon come and tell you, oh, we've found oil is in commercial quantities, we need to develop the field. Just our aspect of it, not the entirety.
Mhm.
Just the subsea aspect of it
Yeah.
could go up to 1 billion, 5 billion. And the 1 billion sometimes is just the installation part of
Wow.
it.
So what exactly are you building down there?
So a lot of it is pipe work, pipelines. You also have a lot of manifolds.
What's the manifold?
A manifold is a collection of valves. So basically, just like you have, just think of water and sewage, right?
Mhm.
Ghana water and sewage.
Yes.
The only difference is that it's oil and gas that goes through our pipelines.
Yes. And
Right.
it's underground and it's under sea.
And it's on the sea.
Okay.
It is on the seabed,
Mhm,
right?
mhm.
So you have pipelines. Some of them go up to, like in Senegal. My company didn't do that. Another company did that. They installed about 80 kilometers of, I think it was 16-inch pipeline.
All by robots.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you keep joining them on the surface, welding them each and every joint until it gets to the seabed. Then you have a crane that lifts and gets it there. Then you have robots called remote operated vehicles that get there and connect and disconnect. Basically, you have a crane that lifts something on land, right? And somebody needs to hook it up
Yes.
to the item,
Yeah.
right? But when you're 3,000 meters down, technology, we don't have the technology to safely send human beings
No.
down there. So you need to send a robot down there to do it. That is controlled from the surface.
Mhm.
When you have shallower water depths, like 20 meters, 30 meters, you can send divers down there to do it. But beyond 100, 150 meters, it's getting a bit more dangerous. Beyond 200, there's no technology, none that I know of yet, that allows people to safely go down there. And so just to disconnect a sling, unhook the crane, hook, you need to get a robot down there. So you have pipelines, then you have steel manifolds as well. You have pumps there as well. You have valves.
Do whales disturb your installations?
I've seen sharks, actually. Sometimes in these robots that I've mentioned, I've actually seen pictures, real pictures, and the robots stay down there for that long, because you're working. This equipment comes, they need to connect, they need to disconnect. You are laying the pipeline, so they need to follow it and make sure it's laying down the way you want it. There's rigid pipe that's flexible. You need to make sure you're not bending it. Imagine your hose, right? When you put it down and it's empty, you create a kink in it. Some of the things we send down there are just cables, the regular electric cables. So you need to have an eye on it. So sometimes the robot is just there looking at it. And sometimes it's been recovered to surface, and I've seen pictures way back as 2014 when I was doing my master's, and one of our lecturers showed us that, where they had a shark in there and has bitten a part of the...
The shark attacked the robot? Or
No,
attacked one of the construction?
it bit one of the wires in the robot.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
It survived, the shark?
No, it was on surface, so at that time I don't think it survived, but I think it cost a lot of money
I can imagine.
to do that. But whales, I haven't come across whales. And, I think when there is activity going on down there as well, they also stay away.
Yeah.
But we've had a lot of, especially not just in Ghana, we've had a lot of entanglement with fish nets.
Oh.
I don't mean to report certain people.
Commercial shippers. Shipping,
No,
fishing people.
the canoes.
Yeah, the canoes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because the thing is, the fish, so I used to work on rigs as well, not just subsea vessels. So rigs, subsea vessels, FPSOs, there's lighting around it, right?
Floating.
Okay, FPSO.
Yes.
Sorry, I thought I was
No
talking
wahala, no wahala.
It's floating production, storage, and offloading vessel. So it's floating because it's floating on the water. Production because the hydrocarbons, that's what we call it then. It's civilians that call it oil and
Oil,
gas.
yeah.
We, the specialists, call it
Hydrocarbons,
hydrocarbons. At
yeah.
that point, yeah. You know, I need to sound smart a bit.
Yeah, you so. You're an engineer now.
Yeah, my people need to be proud of me.
Of course.
So, so when it comes up from the well to the up surface and it's collected and it's separated, that's called the production. So every time it comes in, there's a bit of oil, there's a bit of gas, there's a bit of water. So that separation is called production. So it's floating, it's producing, it is storing it, and then periodically tankers shuttle in to offtake
Okay.
what has been stored. So that's where you have the offloading. So it floats, it produces, it stores,
And then it's offloading.
and it's offloading.
Okay. What's it like being a commercial and operational leader in the energy sector?
It's fun. It's exciting. I mean, you get to work with diverse nationalities. I'll give you an example. Today, in the office, before I came here, I had a chat with somebody in Scotland. A few minutes later, I'm messaging someone in Norway. The next second, I'm speaking back with someone in Scotland. In about 2 hours, somebody drags me into a call with 2 Nigerians who are sitting in Nigeria. So there is that diverse nationality I deal with on a consistent basis. So that's one of the things. On the operational side, it's exciting. It's very exciting. There's never a dull moment. I mean, on my side, these days I support onshore. I've worked as an operations manager on 2 different projects. And it's one thing from the other. You are dealing with this local contractor here. The next morning, well, not the next morning, the next minute, the client is on your neck. When is this going to be ready? Why is it not ready? When are you planning to do this? You have your project manager breathing down your neck. You have people who work under you that you need to lead. So it's diverse cultures, diverse nationalities, different generations of people you are dealing with. I'm beginning to learn that. I'm realizing that not everybody understands generational differences. And on the technical side, there is never a dull moment. It's exciting. Like, and when I say exciting, there's always something for you to do. It's not boring. There are some days when it's not on the operational side, people ask, "Oh, how is it going?" I'm like, after doing weed, crack, and marijuana, smoking cigarettes, it's not too much fun.
Thrilling.
Too much fun. It doesn't get you that high out there. But yeah, oil and gas, you can't do away with the different nationalities and the different cultures and the different generations. And I was actually having a chat with my friend today that you get to understand a bit of international relations, the dynamics and the practicalities of it. Because you are going through this in your country. Then you speak to someone from a different country and he's like, "Oh, well, in my country, this is what it is." It's totally different. I was actually talking to my friend this afternoon, a few minutes before we came here, about passports. And I was telling him one time when I had my passport at one embassy, and in 3 days' time, I had to travel to another country, and I had to call them and say, "Hey, guys, can you just give me my passport? Let me travel.
Let me go and stamp and go.
Let me go. When I come back, if you want to give me, you give it." But then I'm speaking to my colleague in another country, and it's like, "Oh, I'm allowed to have 2 passports." And the reason is actually the reason you are struggling right now. It's so that I have 1 passport here applying for this visa, but I need to go to this other country and I can still travel there.
Talking of countries, where have you been in your career?
You really want to know?
Yes.
You really want everyone to know?
Yes.
Okay, I've been to Senegal, I've been to Mauritania. Nigeria, I don't have to mention. I mean, if you work in oil and gas in Africa and you haven't been to Nigeria, you need to rethink where you are working. Nigeria, Congo, Republic of Congo. I've been to Angola, Namibia, South Africa. I've been to UK. I mean, that's the oil and gas capital of Europe. I've been to Norway because my company is Norwegian. And I've been to the US. Just not too many.
It's quite a lot.
Well, compared to other people, it's not. I'm just a humble little guy.
Are you still thrilled by traveling to new places and meeting new people?
Yeah, it's exciting. I think I've seen, was it Trevor Noah or someone said, if you have money, travel a bit. It's not for there's the excitement of seeing new places, but you learn. In our local dialect, they said if you haven't been to someone's farm before, you think your farm is the best. It exposes you. It lets you see that, okay, people do things differently here. One example I have recent, which was also another chat I had with a friend. I went to Ethiopia this year, and it was the first time I was going to Ethiopia. I'd transited through Ethiopia, but this time I was like, okay, instead of transiting, let me extend the stay there. What I noticed was that within 15 kilometers from the airport, there were so many museums and so many historical sites. And there were so many that just going through the museums, you could learn about the history of Ethiopia. Then I started thinking, okay, so what about my country? Have I been to a museum here? How many museums are there? Then I go to another country, Norway, and they have an oil museum. This is not historical museum. They have others. But what that made me realize was that good countries and strong countries document history. They keep it. And what history does is that it lets you understand your identity. So that, yeah, the thing happened, hundreds of years ago, but someone born today knows what their ancestors fought for, knows the details, knows the what it means for them. And it helps them to understand where they come from. You go to Ethiopia. I mean, Ethiopia is the only country, African country, that has never been colonized. They have a museum for the Battle of Adwa, which is one time when the Italians came against them and they fought. And that museum is just for that battle.
May they never forget.
Not
It's there. It's
they
always
have
there. Yeah.
Red Matthias Museum.
They don't want you to forget.
So this is just an example that you go to someone's country and you realize, okay, there's documentation here. There is this here. These people drive on that side of the road. We drive on this side of the road. It's not to say this is good, this is bad, but different. you learn. Recently as well, I was speaking to another person in my company, and he was showing me something on Google Maps, and he said, oh, and this is where I come from, this is where my family comes from, this is where we grew up. I was like, oh, wait, hold on. The name of that town is your surname. So I was like, oh, you people must be really big in that town. And he said, oh, no. Actually, in my country, most people's surnames is where they come from. I was like, oh, wait, are you joking? So I was like, okay, let's do a check right now. So I started recollecting names of people I knew from his country. And I think about 9 out of 10 of the names we mentioned, when you type their name in that country's map, you'll find a place named after them. Well, a place they are named after. Mm-hmm. And it's the same spelling. But what I learned is that in this particular country, your surname is where you come from. So me, I come from Labadi, so maybe I'll be called Pierre La. No, not Labadi, not Labadi, it's La. It's La. There's a history behind it. Yeah. Yeah. Apologies.
So you'll be called La.
So I'll be called Pierre La.
Yeah. Well, I guess you have Asante, so we know where you come from.
Yeah.
Or Latte, which probably is a corruption of Latte.
Yeah. But you get this when you travel, when you go to other countries, when you interact with people from different countries, you realize that the world is not just about you.
That's it.
And sometimes, and in my experience as well, it's made me cherish certain things in Ghana. I know a lot of Ghanaians will be surprised hearing this, but we have something. Mm-hmm. It's made me value certain things in Ghana. It's also made me realize that, okay, there is another way we could do this, or there's a different way this could be done. It's also made me understand uniqueness of Ghanaians and of other nationalities. So, yeah, that's exciting about traveling.
Nice one. So let's put that hat aside and talk about your coaching and leadership and speaking work. What's that like?
Ooh. Coaching is fun. And the main challenge it was for me is, okay, I'd like to make a bit of clarity. I know we have sports coaches, and that gives professional coaching a bit of misconception because, this is World Cup season, right? So the coach comes up with a strategy and the tactics and tells every player what to do. But in professional coaching, which I'm doing, it's not you instructing. It's you bringing out the best out of your client.
Is this one-on-one?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's one-on-one, there's group. But in that coaching, I help the client to bring up their strategy. The belief in there is that the client has what they need to move to the next step. I just need to bring it out of them. So when I go there, I don't tell the people what to do. I ask them questions. The greatest tool I have is questions. And everything I want to do, I need to bring it in a question format because they have what they need in themselves. I need to help them bring it out. Now, the reason why that was a huge challenge for me is that I've lived a lot of my life being built up to tell people what to do.
Do it.
Yeah, before I joined the subsea company, I worked on a drilling rig, which was a bit like military. You tell what to do and that's it. I tell you, Kafui, do this, and there's no discussion.
No questions asked.
These days everybody can speak up, but to some extent,
yeah.
So I've grown up always knowing you tell people what to do.
Plus, it's dangerous work too. If somebody messes up, people die.
Yeah. And when you got asked a question, you had to have the answers.
Mm-hmm.
So to go into coaching where now I need to ask questions, it's been a bit of a struggle where, I need to hold myself back. Don't tell them.
Mm-hmm.
Don't tell them.
Ask the questions.
Ask the questions. You are not a medical doctor sitting in a consulting room where the person presents symptoms. You're like, okay, go and take this test. Go and take that test. Take this medication. But that has been an eye opener. That I don't always have to have the answers. I need to sometimes pose the questions, and then there's also the aspect where now I need to learn to listen. And this listening is not about paying attention. It's about understanding what is behind what the person is saying. The reason why they are saying what they are saying, and understanding if and then rephrasing your question to get the person to realize what they need to realize. So it's been a bit more of, on the creative side. I like to call it creative because I need to think on my feet, and everything is not binary. I've lived a long time being binary. It's 0 or 1. It's black or white. There's no gray. There's no midway.
So it's a big change.
So it's a big change, but it's also stimulating. It's fun. It's exciting, and then it's also that I get to help people recover. I get to help people move from point A to point B.
Did this dimension to your career begin after the accident?
So the coaching, well, it was a thought I played with before the accident, but it's after the accident that made me, and I'm sure we'll get into that, but there's a lot of things after the accident that I wouldn't say push me, but that inspired me to go into that. So I'd had a bit of it. It was just on the thinking phase, not too much. It was probably something maybe I was going to take 10 years or 15 years to do. But after the accident,
brought things faster.
It brought things a bit faster. I put a bit of urgency into it as well. And then the speaking is just basically to tell the story.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you also interview survivors.
Yes.
That's also a different angle. Why do you do that?
Again, it's all about telling the story, because I realized that people need inspiration. The inspiration not just to get you excited, but everybody goes through low moments. Everybody goes through pitfalls in life. Life always has valleys. You lose that job. You are the breadwinner of the family. You lose that job that pays your bills and takes care of. In Ghana, when you say family, it's not just
nuclear.
It's not just spouse and children.
No.
It's aunties, uncles.
Oh yeah.
And that job is lost.
Extended, yeah.
That is a value for the person themselves who have lost their job. That it could also be a value for that niece or nephew who is
depending on you.
Yeah. The loss of a loved one, a divorce after 20 years of marriage, losing that $100 billion worth company. All these are valleys that people could go through, and sometimes people, you hear of suicide. People commit suicide, kill themselves. It drives people mental into certain things. The reason why I have these conversations is for people to know that, look, if these guys have gone through what they went through, if God is able to get these people out, there is hope that we can also get out. I was actually on a Ben Survivors call sometime last year, and one woman who inspired me a lot. So you know my stats there. I'll leave you to say it. But, well, I need to chip it in. I have 39 degrees, 39% of my total body surface area burnt.
That's a lot of body burnt.
I'll shock you more. So I was in a call with 5 other burn survivors, and everybody was introducing themselves. And I think I was somewhere in the middle. Oh, my name is this, I'm from this. In this year, I had 80% of my total body surface area burnt. I said, okay. And someone goes, says 90. And this person says this. And I'm sitting there like, my 39 is like...
you know the catch.
So at some point I was thinking,
Crazy.
should I really be sitting here? So at some point, and this was a conference, it was virtual.
Yeah.
So at some point I had to, in the call, I just raised my hand.
Yeah.
I just found a way of weaving it in and raised my hand. So they could see that I was bent down.
Charlie, the numbers are crazy.
Because nobody else.
Yeah.
But then there was this lady who's, and she was actually one of the, I was just thinking about her that precipitated these conversations, because she had, I think it was 80. It was either 80 or 90, I keep forgetting. And she was pregnant. And even though her incident happened in the US, this was in the 80s. This was in the 1980s. So, yeah, it's somebody can think, oh, this was in the US. But in the 80s, healthcare wasn't that advanced.
Yeah, technology.
So it's probably like where Ghana is, or maybe even worse. But US 80s, at least 80%, and she was pregnant. I mean, you have children, you know, pregnancy takes a toll on the woman.
Yeah. Very delicate.
I mean, the burns itself is enough. I mean, you have, so there's somebody who is pregnant, has 80% in the 1980s. She's a woman. She survived, delivered that child. She's married and has 2 more children. So I was sitting in there, and I was inspired. I was like, you know, because to start with, I'm thinking, yeah, me, my 39% is, you know, when I said I was even shy.
Yeah,
like,
people have gone through a lot.
Yeah.
If you compare. But then you also went through a lot.
Yeah.
I can't imagine getting 2% of my body burnt. And so 39 is a big number for me, you know.
But then, you know, and I keep hearing other people's stories as well. Like one guy I interviewed, I had a chat with recently. He is an outdoor instructor. You know, they teach people mountain climbing and things and that kind of stuff. He likes riding his bike. He goes for a medical checkup one day, and he just told, you have a condition. In 4 years, worst case, you'll be going blind. In fact, it's no longer safe for you to drive yourself home. So call someone, maybe your wife, girlfriend, somebody to pick the car and drive you back home. And he was like, oh, you know. Now, this is somebody who doesn't wear spectacles. He just walked in for
a check.
Routine check.
Wow.
Gets told this. Of course, there's a denial in the beginning. So he was like, yeah, he denied it. I was like, nah, this guy doesn't know what he's thinking. It's probably something wrong. But he was like, the moment it hit him was one time he was on the road. He was at a pedestrian stop. Traffic was red. The traffic light was red. So he was about to move and realized there was an old lady in front of him he almost hit. And that was when it dawned on him that he had lost his peripheral vision.
Yes, couldn't see.
So that's why he didn't see. And that was when reality dawned on him. But 16 years after, he still has his sight. Last time he told me, it's like he sees like looking through a straw.
Wow.
But he's gone ahead. He's now a member of the Order of the British Empire, which he wasn't before the diagnosis.
Yeah.
He's gone on to climb. There's a rock face called El Capitan in Yosemite Valley in the States, which for rock climbers in their world is like winning the World Cup.
He's climbed it.
Yeah, you know, in climbing, like there's a lot of history around it. But he didn't do any of this prior to that diagnosis. So there's something that diagnosis did to him. And the reason why I have these conversations is that, yeah, I have my story, but people also have stories to share. And sometimes people need to hear this to know that, look, what I'm going through, I'm going through a valley. There are hard times, but I can get out of it. And I'll actually come out better.
That's it.
So that's why I have those conversations. And
have any of your guests made you cry?
No, not yet. I think...
Or you be too hard?
No, nobody say I'll be too hard. I think, Charlie... Anyway, I've sought permission so I can say this. Charlie, the beatings they beat me back in the time, man.
Charlie.
I should say I cry all the tears.
Make you immune.
And then when I had the accident too, at some point, brought somebody. So I think I've run out of tears. And obviously I'll be too hard, but
Yeah.
I think
The stock finish.
yeah, I know I don't really really did that.
And you're an author too.
Yeah.
Yeah. The stench of good news.
Yeah.
That's a really odd title. Good news shouldn't have a stench.
Okay, so that's in the utopian world.
Yes.
Good news shouldn't have
Yeah,
a stench,
it's
but in
about that.
reality,
Mhm.
good news sometimes has a stench. I mean, if you can smell a nasty smell, it means your nose is working. It means you haven't lost your sense of smell.
Touche. I get you. Why did you come up with that title? Were there other titles that were competing with this title?
Yeah. When we started, it was I was thinking of bad smell, good news.
Okay. I want to go work.
And then I remember when I was in the process of just about finishing the book, my editor, who I work closely with, was like, "Should we call it the stench of hope?"
It's getting better.
I was like, no, let's leave the stench of good news. So the stench of good news, I'll go ahead and explain. I'll give a short narrative, and when people need to buy the book to
Of course.
understand the full meaning. So I'll give them a teaser. But basically, so I'd explain that I have 39% of my total body surface area.
What does that mean? When you say 39%, what does it mean?
So this is assuming the whole body is 100%,
Mhm.
right, of total body surface area.
Mhm.
So 39% of that is bent.
Almost 40%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's covered. It's covered in, and it's various degrees.
Yeah.
You know, I know in the past people used to talk about first degree, second degree,
Yeah, third
third
degree.
degree. But these days they don't really use that. They say partial thickness or full thickness
Okay.
of the skin.
What did you get? What did you have?
It was a mix. There were some places where it was full thickness that was gone. Like in my hands. So all this is skin graft.
Okay.
And on my legs, like the full thickness were gone.
Where's the skin grafted from?
I should have worn a t-shirt. So you can see this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you can tell the difference, right?
Yes.
This is my skin.
Yeah.
So every part from this place is grafted all the way. Well, this place healed on its own, but from here all the way to that part is grafted.
Grafted. Whose skin is it?
It's my own skin.
Where did they
They
take it
cut
from?
it for my thighs.
Oh,
So it's like cut and paste XL.
you should have one shot. Would have seen.
You didn't tell me. But I have a picture on my website.
They took flesh from your thigh.
Yeah, and put. It's just like cut and paste.
Yeah, yeah.
You Word,
Yeah.
Excel,
Mhm.
WhatsApp. You cut somewhere, you paste somewhere. So they cut here, and they pasted it.
So this is your thigh here. Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you know, there's a joke on that. I need to say it. I read it some time back, and apparently, a man and his wife had a bad accident, and they said they had to do surgery. They had to have a skin somewhere, and so they agreed where it was going to be done. And the man, they said it had to be from the man because they couldn't find anything anywhere else. But the only place they could do it from his backside.
Mhm.
So they agreed that since it was a delicate thing, they'll just keep it between the three of them. So they did it, harvested the skin, and they did it. And the woman was looking more beautiful than she looked even prior to the accident. So it was one time the woman was there with her husband, and she was like, honey, I really thank you for this. I don't even know how I can repay you. I'm looking more beautiful than. It was like, oh, no. Don't worry about repaying me. I get my repayment every time I see your mom kiss you on the cheek. So I didn't say that, but so they cut from my thigh, and I did some on the legs as well.
Where were you burnt? As far as where were you burnt?
So I was just picture this. I was in a t-shirt and a pair of shorts.
Okay.
The shorts was up to here, so every exposed part. So from my knee to my toes got bent. You're right. I should have been in a pair of shorts. My knees to my toes got bent on both feet. And then as you saw the sign from here,
Yeah.
This is the mark of the
On
t-shirt.
the t-shirt.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's it. That's where the t-shirt ended.
Yeah. And it's the same way on both hands. Again,
Yeah. The t-shirt.
where the
mark.
t-shirt, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's from the t-shirt all the way to, my fingers. I don't know how I didn't lose my nails, but these weren't grafted, but these are still burn marks, right?
So this is still your original finger skin.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then my face. I know the face you can't see,
No, I
but
can't.
my face. Well, I have a picture I can show to you
Yeah.
later, but yeah,
Your
when
face
you
was
see,
burnt as well.
yeah, I look like a half caste then.
Wow.
Yeah. So the people who bleach their skin, I have a simple way you can show me. I can show you how to. You can come and see me. I'll show you a better way. You look half pure, clean.
We're going to go into this story.
But I looked Caucasian.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
we're going to dive into that story, but I just want to
Okay.
take it back a little bit just to get your backstory,
Okay.
because we've seen what you are doing currently.
Yeah.
Let's take it back to the beginning, and then we'll come to
Okay.
the best story. So, what are some of your earliest memories? Really,
Earliest
really early
memories.
memories.
Oh, there's so many of them.
Yeah.
I remember my grandmother taking me to crash. There was this place in Kaneshin called Flory Crash. You know when you're coming from the Malam direction heading towards Accra on Kaneshi, and at the first light, traffic light, you take a left. In that cave, there was a crash there. That was where my mother took me to. I was single parented, so, and my mom used to take me there herself, and that meant, I'd have to wake up around 5:30. We're living at Todoko. She worked in the hospital in Kolibu as a physiotherapist. And then she would take me there. And my grandmother was like, no, you don't wake up children that early.
It's too early.
Like, children need to sleep and wake up when they want to wake up.
Tell that to the children who live in Kafui and go to school in Dasuma. Waking up at 3, right?
Well, that's the value of grandparents.
Yes, exactly. They'll pump some sense into you.
Look, I mean, I sincerely apologize to any child that didn't meet their grandparents, Charlie.
Some way.
Charlie,
True.
parents are good, but grandparents are
the best.
Charlie, they're a different level.
Yeah.
Unapo.
Cry.
So yeah, I remember my grandma stepped in and was like, no, the child needs to wake up by themselves.
Yeah.
You don't wake them up at that age. So my grandmother volunteered to take me to the crash,
Okay.
and she would take me
Nice.
there every day.
How
And
old were you
then-
then?
Oh, this was maybe I was 3,
Wow.
and I had memories of her. We'll go there, and close to the school, she would buy some sweets. And then now I started pointing it to her, we need to buy. And then she'd be like, oh, no, they haven't started. They haven't opened shop yet. I'm like, no, their house is behind. Let's go to the house.
Got your intel. Yeah.
And then she would cook, she would cook this for me, aboboy, bambara beans.
Bambara beans.
And then, this one, she reminded me herself before she passed on. She was like, Pierre would be like, Nana, when I come home, I want to eat aboboy. So she had to. So yeah, those were fond memories I had of my grandmother. She would take me to crash.
Would she talk to you on the way? What kind of conversations would you be having?
Oh, we had all kinds of conversations. There was one time I think I tried playing a prank on her, and she was like, "Hey, you need to know that I gave birth to your mother and she gave birth to you." I was like, "Oh, me, I came and I went and I've come again." So I as a grown person, I can't imagine tolerating that from a 3-year-old. But
bold, man.
these were the kind of conversations I had with my grandmother, and we'd play games together. Like we'd play drafts
Okay.
together, we'd play dominoes together, we'd play Ludo, we played snake and ladders.
What did she do? What was her profession before she retired?
No, my grandmother was a housekeeper.
Okay.
Because my grandfather was a nurse, and they traveled about every now and then, and they had 9 children. So that's quite a handful.
Yeah.
And my mother was one of them as well.
Yes.
She was a handful on her own. So she was a homekeeper, and
Okay.
she sold things by the side, fruits, did a bit of sewing. So she didn't really have a full-time job.
Entrepreneur, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can say that. But at the time on my mother's side, my maternal grandparents' side, I'm number 12 out of 14. So prior to me, she'd been really taking care of grandchildren.
More experience for you.
Yeah. But so at the time, so she's had 9 children, 12, no, I'm number 12, right? So that 11 grandchildren before me. So at the time she was getting to me, she really knew what she was doing. So maybe that's why I like to say I had the best. I think my cousins might have different opinions, but that's up to them.
You had the best.
I had the best.
What did you lose when she passed?
Oh, I lost my body. Like, Charlie, my grandmother was my heart. People say men are close to their mothers. Not to slight my mother, I don't have any problem with her, but my grandmother was that person. Then I also thought, when I grew up, I should have spent more time with her.
Even though you were spending time with her when you were young, right?
Well, because this was the time I was now older.
Yes.
I could have spoiled her
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
Because she spoiled me with a lot of things, and, we'll do a lot of things. And
Did she get to see you as an engineer?
Yes.
She did.
I don't know if she understood what that meant. Actually, before she passed, this was in 2020, I was actually going to go offshore in Angola. And I remember she was really old. She was really weak. She was 97. Yeah, she was 97. She was really senile. At some point, she couldn't speak that much. And I went to visit her. So I was traveling on a Sunday. I closed church. My mother gave me a call and said, look, your grandmother is really weak. Maybe you should pass by. I don't know what she saw, but I went by. She said, oh, these days she only takes yogurt. So when you come and bring yogurt. So I bought the yogurt. I mean, this was my grandmother. I'm not going to think twice about this. So I bought it, went there, and they were like, oh yeah, in fact, you should feed her. I mean, you people, you know the tricks you play around me. So it was poured in a cup and I was giving it to her. Yeah. And this was around midday. I had to leave because I was traveling to Angola. I was like, oh, I wish I could stay here longer. And I remember telling her, I was like, look, I don't want to go and be hearing funny stories. Just stay and wait till I come. But when I left, I knew maybe this could be the last time. So yeah, she did see me as an engineer before. I don't know if she understood what the work I did. But maybe that's part of it. Maybe we should have had more discussions to let her know what I did.
Were you an only child?
On my mother's side, I was the only child. But on my father's side, I think there were two more.
Okay.
I don't know them so well. But on my mother's side, it was just me. I mean, my parents were never married, so I was away go.
What was it like growing up with your mom and your grandma?
So I grew up not just with my mom, my grandma. I had my aunties as well, because my mom then was living in my grandfather's house. So it was my grandfather, was my grandmother, and I think there were two aunties and an uncle there. With my mother, there was discipline. You know the verse in the Bible, Proverbs 22:15, says that folly is bound in the heart of a child. The rod of discipline drives it far away.
Beat it out.
If there was any person who understood that scripture literally and spiritually, it was my mother. There's another one, Proverbs 13:24. I'm paraphrasing. Some versions say spare the rod and spoil the child. Some versions also say he who spares the rod does not love their child.
And she wanted to love you.
if there was any woman in the world who understood those scriptures,
your mom.
It was my mother. Oh, goodness me.
What were some of your offenses?
Oh, strangely enough, I don't remember most of them. But it could easily be like talking to an elderly person in a bad manner. There was nothing about what you felt or your emotion or, this modern day thing. Oh, no.
Mental health.
I didn't see that. or you had put something in a wrong place.
Soft parenting, no.
No, that. And my mother she beat you with what she had then.
Which could be?
I'll give you one. I'd gone out. I had a bicycle. I'd taken it to the repairer to fix something. There was something that happened. I'd made a decision and I came back and she asked me and I told her, I don't remember the details, but it was like she was sitting where I was and I was like where your Paul is. She was descaling fish, redfish, in a bowl. She'd bought bulk, descale them, put them in the freezer and, bring them out later. The next thing I knew, the fish was coming at me.
She flung the fish at
you.
you.
She threw it at me. So that's an example.
Did you dodge?
I think so, I did. Like my mother is a Ghana woman.
Yes.
A proper, authentic Ghana woman. They speak English like they don't understand Ghana, and they speak Ghana like they don't understand English. And you never hear a Ghana woman say, wait till your father comes.
She would do with you.
Maybe your father will come and beg for you. But she hit you with anything.
The fish came at you.
Oh, yeah. So my mother would hit you with what she had then. So my mother was, like pure discipline. My grandmother was the one who used to beg for me sometimes. And I remember there was one time I went to live with my auntie. So I was at my auntie's place and she came to visit me. And again, it was one of those things. My mother too had a bit of, she was quick-tempered. She's not short, but I don't know why. I don't know if sometimes it was the frustrations in life she just put on me.
Just put them on you.
What? Again, I had done something and she was coming to beat me, and my uncle. Now this uncle of mine is not like a smallish person. He's, like regular size. He was trying to say, Mama, help me back.
Keep me away.
Just move.
Let me deal with him.
Let me deal with that boy. She was going to beat the folly that was bound in my
Exactly, based on the Bible, man.
in my heart. So yeah, my mother was a disciplinarian.
Yeah.
She didn't take nonsense. She was a physiotherapist. All the physiotherapists she trained under her can attest to this. So I can give you some names after the interview.
Yeah.
They'll confirm. I'm sure some of them might watch it. Please, if you are watching it after, you just type and say, I am one of them. I confirm what he said.
How is the relationship shaped now that you're an adult and she's older?
Oh no, now it's twisted the other way, as you would expect. I mean, she can't look at me and I remember one time I was in secondary school, and adolescence puberty had hit in. So I was a bit taller. I was now getting tall. I don't remember if that was when I hit my max. And she got angry at me for something. And I felt I was being accused falsely, because I felt, yeah, I'm innocent here. So I think maybe my voice had broken too. So I said something, and I think maybe it came in a deep voice. And she was like, "Hey, I'm gonna buy me."
Now you come meet me.
Like now, like. So I think that was when reality dawned on her that, Charlie,
the world has changed.
Tables have turned. Like, this is not a small round person you could like now physically.
Yeah.
You could.
But I doubt that you'd have hit her.
No.
Yeah.
But it was actually one time when I was really, I don't remember what happened. Of course, I wasn't going to do anything to her, but she felt she had a temper, and I was also, for me, it's like, I thought it was wrong accusation. I don't remember the detail of what had happened, but I got at her and I was like fuming. And my auntie, who knew me from like I'd lived with her in my childhood days, Auntie Mary, she was actually crying and begging me.
Thinking that you're going to do something.
Thinking I was going to do something. She was like, Pierre, I beg you. Pierre, I beg you. So yeah, now the tables have turned. But part of that as well, and I mean, even with her discipline, she did her best as well. I was an only child. She wasn't the richest person, but she did her best. School fees were always paid. I never really lacked anything. In fact, some of the things I even had better than people who had the full set of parents.
Yeah.
I had video games when I was young, Famicom, I enjoyed all that. I had toys, Lego, all the nice things, custard, the Tom and Jerry canned drinks.
Horlicks, I'm sure.
Horlicks, yeah, all that, So she did.
She did a bit.
So in terms of provision, I had the best of the world. In terms of discipline too, I had the best of the world as well.
Indeed.
She was taking the fully out of it. The Bible says it drives it far away. I think
you.
my mother has really driven it far.
It's gone, cry.
It's gone in the sea.
Who do you reckon was your father figure when you were growing up?
I think she doubled up a bit. But I had a few uncles who, so my auntie I spoke about, she's called Auntie Mary. She was in Kolebu. So I did my growing up was partly in Odoko and partly in Kolebu. So I ended up in Kolebu because when I was around 6, I think 4, 5, 6, somewhere there, before I went to school, I went to MOH.
Ministry of Health.
Yeah, Ministry of Health. She had this UN volunteer thing and went to Abu Dhabi in the UAE.
Oh, okay. For how long?
I think for 2 years.
Okay.
So she spoke with Auntie Mary, who was the one she comes after, who already had 3 children, and said, can you take care of my boy for me? Plus, he's going to go to school then. He's like, 3 plus 1 is different from 1 plus 3. In terms of, mathematically it's the same, but in terms of childbirth and raising children, 3 plus 1. So I went to live with Auntie Mary. So her husband played a bit of a fatherly role. Then she had a good friend, Auntie Becky, who I also spent time with, holidays at her place as well. So her husband, who says he's my grandfather, so he takes pride in that, and you play jokes and you say Pierre. When I say Pierre, you say yes, grandpa. So his number is actually stored on my phone as grandpa.
Maybe so.
But his wife likes to be known as my auntie.
Yeah.
So 2 people married together. The woman is my auntie. The father is my grandfather. So he also had a bit of fatherly role, and I had a few uncles. But I'll say 80% was the old lady trying to be father and mother at the same time.
You know why you were named Pierre?
Yes, she told me that. She actually had a friend from Luxembourg. And she said she found traits in him that were like, this was an upright person who did things the right way and always went by the book. And she thought, yeah, I want this boy to be like that. So that's how it's Pierre. And Luxembourg, I think the French is one of the official languages.
Yes.
But that was this guy's name. So
Yeah.
I got that's how I got the name Pierre.
Did you ever get to meet him?
No. I don't think she's even met him since she had me.
Okay.
So and mind you, I was born in the 80s, now I feel old saying that. But this was the time you didn't have WhatsApp.
Yeah. No connection.
You didn't have emails.
No. Telephones were rare.
Telephones were rare.
Queue to go and call.
The one you actually... No, at this time, you didn't even have the queuing to call came when I was in SS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasn't telecommunications.
At best, you had comm centers and you could pick the call there, but, I saw the phone where you put your finger in and
the rotary phone.
And that was a proper dial.
Yeah.
Yeah, where they'll lock it as well too.
Exactly.
And I knew how to unlock it. I made a few calls like that.
Even so.
But yeah, this was the time you didn't have WhatsApp.
Yeah.
The best you had was a telegram, which you were limited to with words.
That's it.
You write a letter, it takes a week to get. And this is even Accra Cape Coast.
Yeah. So imagine international.
So, yeah. So, I don't know who that guy is. But last time I actually asked her and I was like, so why did you name me after him? And do you think... No, I think I heard someone asking. I was like, yeah, I see some of the traits in him.
Yeah, cool. It worked.
Yeah, so the name with the discipline, of course. And
Maybe so. Combines to form who you are.
Yeah.
What was Achimota School like? That's where you went to secondary school.
Achimota School was good. Actually, no, there's a butcher boy here, so I won't say that. I won't say that. No, I can't. Please cut this part out. I can't have this going out on. And
we overpower him 2v1. Don't worry.
No, but I can't have this going out in the video.
You wanted to go to Butcher?
Yeah, for some misguided reason. So what happened was I was in Kolibo around that time, and all the older cousins I knew always went to school in Cape Coast. All the older people of secondary school going age around that time were always going to Cape Coast. So at that time, I think somewhere in GSS2, mentally, what I had in mind was, if you're going to secondary school, it's Cape Coast, and there are a few good ones in Eastern region. For some weird reason, I didn't see Accra as a secondary school place.
Yeah, because you were too maybe close to it. You were already in Accra,
Probably.
No adventure.
Even though I had a lot of people from MOH going to Accra, I knew Accra, but I knew Achimota, I knew Presec, but in my mind, school was Cape Coast.
Yeah, travel out.
Or
Eastern.
I knew of the Pope John's, the St. Peter's,
and
all that. But I think Achimota came in because I thought it was too far off. My cousins were good. Shout out my cousins, we just send them like once a semester.
The Cape Coast people. Yeah, it's far.
Or sometimes if any of them got lucky and they had a speech and prize giving day and they were lucky enough to win a prize, then we're all going. And that day was a whole trip.
Yeah, school
because the thing was a whole day. I mean, my auntie would start preparing meals on Friday night. We'll all be involved. Charlie will all go and I'll be the one blending the shrimps and the herrings, and then we'll do everything.
Also, you're a cook too?
No. I was supporting.
You support, but you cook.
I can cook what I need. No, I can do basic stuff to get me by. I better than the average guy.
You are an improvement on me, so you just take it like that.
No, I'm more than an improvement. I've heard you say something somewhere, but I'm way more than.
So you know.
Like you come nowhere near.
Yeah,
to me.
Thank you very much.
Just take it like
for the record.
I'm a master's student.
I'm in KG.
Yeah. That's the best. So yeah, we'll prepare all that, and then you leave home early in the morning on Saturday, and this is with my uncle's car. Yeah. We'll drive there, we'll spend the time. At the time you get back, it's like 9.
And it's ridiculous because Cape Coast is not that far from Accra. Why should it take a whole day? And even now, it still takes...
Yeah, and this was in the 90s.
No, man.
So yeah, that whole distance thing...
Didn't appeal to you?
I thought, okay, yeah, Charlie, so let me settle for something in Accra. And I think at some point I wanted to go to Akosombo. I went to write the entrance exam, but I never heard anything. But I'm sure I bombed it, and I thought, who's this guy? So yeah, then I went to Achimota, which was great. Achimota is a very good school, well built, well structured. I mean, you look at the founding fathers and what they built. They built a community. You have an oval that has all the houses in there. You look at the structure of the houses. And I was in Lugard House. I like to say that too. Which house were you in?
Agri House.
I'm sorry. But sorry. It could be. You get to talk to a Lugard House boy, so.
We there inside.
So yeah, no problem.
You're my guest, so no problem. We'll
This
deal
is
with other issues after.
So, and I remember there's a good history about Lugard House. One there was a plaque in there where they'd written that, I think in one of the world wars, they brought one of the British royals. This was where they hid them to make sure that they were protected
Okay. Oh, okay.
From harm.
Mhm.
But yeah, so Lugard House, good experience.
Favorite teachers?
Oh, I liked Mr. Debra. Mr. Debra was when I went at first, he was my assistant housemaster. You know, they were the ones that had the sort of half bungalow. They were on top and you had a common room below.
Indeed.
So he was the assistant. And then I think when I got to second year or something, he became the Mr. Henekena, who was the main housemaster, became senior housemaster. So Mr. Debra progressed and we got Arthur Stevens. But what I liked about Mr. Debra was he taught physics. He was a very good teacher. Like he had extra classes running and like he was the go-to for extra classes. And the interesting thing was, it wasn't like, you know, some teachers would, if they know they have extra classes, they like to mess up the regular class they teach. So you need more of that. But he taught me in GSS, SS3, and he never messed up. You know, he would come and still teach, but he had his extra classes and you had people from SS1, SS2, SS3 going, who are all going during school session and during vacation. The Bocho boys were coming to Motown for extra classes.
And once
like,
you left there.
yeah. So I'm glad I went. So it was a good decision going there finally. And you had all kinds of schools. And then we always joked in the house that, you know, for Mr. Debra, Charlie, if the school delayed in his salary payment, he wouldn't have a problem.
People would be generous to him.
No, because he was making good money out
exactly,
of it.
Exactly.
But at that age, that taught me something that, yeah, it's good to have your day job, but your skill will build a lot behind that. So Mr. Debra was one guy who I really learned a lot from. I liked his teaching. Let me try and remember. Mr. Debra is the one that readily comes to mind. Not to say the others are not good.
Yeah.
I liked, there was Mr. Amoa who taught us math as well. But I liked him as well.
Did you take part in any of the extracurricular activities, cadets, drama?
Yeah, for some reason I didn't do cadet, but I did a bit of sports. I did cricket,
Okay.
which was good. One of the few schools.
Were you a better bowler than a batsman?
I was a better
fielder?
I was a better bowler.
Okay.
I was a rubbish batsman. I couldn't believe how they allowed me into the team. It's just horrible, miserable. My bowling was good.
Okay.
But I only played for the house. I didn't make it to the school team. I did a bit of handball at some point.
Swimming?
I'll say it.
Yeah.
You asked me, so I'll
Yes.
say it. So when the results came, BEC, well, how does it work? You get the results. No, you apply, then the results come, then you know that you're
going there.
You are going there. Then you get the prospectus. So in the prospectus, they'd written swimming gear. So my good mother provider bought swimming gear for me. Throughout the 3 years, I think the only use I had was sometimes I wore it and slept in it. I think that was the only use I had for it.
A La Boy with the sea close to you.
Well, I didn't live in La. I theoretically came from there.
Okay. But you lived in Kolebu,
But I lived in Kolebu,
which was not too far from the water.
which was not. But now I can swim.
Okay, good.
Now I can
You
swim.
learned it later.
It took me, later in my life.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we bought it, but it was never used because the swimming pool wasn't. It was out of service for the 3 years I left. But
Shame.
I know that, you know, the thing which Achimota does of the, I think 25 years, after school you do a project, 50 years. I know for a fact that one of the year groups renovated it.
Yes.
I hope it's still in good shape.
Hope so too.
But at the time I was there, it was close to the maintenance yard, and the only thing we ever went there was when the taps weren't flowing in our houses and we had to get buckets to go and fetch water there. But yeah, so I didn't get to swim there, but I did a bit of handball, cricket. I also did a bit of athletics. I remember doing discus.
Okay.
Many people may not remember this. Well, that's life. I didn't get to represent the school, but the one that I threw that went really far was just an inch outside the perimeter.
Wow.
So
That was crazy.
So yeah, that was painful.
Yeah.
But yeah, so these were the
Good
extra
times.
curricular activities. That was that. And I remember one day in SS3. Well, you did the O system, right?
Yes, O levels, A levels.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. That makes me feel good. I'm a bit younger, at least. Yeah. I'd like to know that. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
So there was something about SS3 students not wanting to go for breakfast or being late. And it was weird because now I think about it, like, how did we live? Because as SS3, you didn't do any house chore.
Mm.
So in the morning, all you had to do was wake up, take your bath, dress, and get yourself to the dining hall. But we were always the last people to leave. So at this time, I think the house prefect had complained to the housemaster. And the housemaster was like, Charlie, lock the door. And when they need to come out, I'll be there with a cane and beat them out. So my friend and I were in the corner, we were like, Charlie, what do we do? Now the housemaster didn't have an overview of who and who was in. But there was one guy who played cat and mouse games with some of his friends. So his friends were like, oh, sir, this guy is in, this guy is in. Kwesi is in, Kwesi in, you need to get him. The housemaster said, okay, I'm waiting for Kwesi. Me and my friend, no one mentioned our names. So, Charlie, we went back to one of the courts, jumped the wall, Charlie, balanced, and went for breakfast.
That's so. You swear, man.
Then this guy also went to jump. This Kwesi guy, Kwesi is a pseudo name, went to jump. So the housemaster waited and waited, and door got locked. He was like, okay, I need to find a legal way of checking this guy. So check the row in the dining hall. In that case, if he's not at the dining hall, why did he skip dining? And if he's at the dining hall, how did he get there? And if he got there on time, why were these people? So either way, somebody will get into trouble. So we went to the dining hall, we checked the row, and everybody said, oh yeah, we jumped the wall as well. We're like, wait, hold on. Yeah, me and my friend jumped the wall. But nobody knows about it. The housemaster doesn't know about us. You have played jokes with your friends, and the housemaster has focus on you. So what you do is your business.
Leave us out of it.
Leave us out of it. So they said he should write a statement. And I heard what you wrote in the statement was, oh yeah, so this, and I jumped the one. When I jumped, I saw Pierre and this guy. I was like, oh, Charlie, like, what's up? So we also got whipped.
Yeah, of course. Serious betrayal, man.
we also got whipped.
But you jumped the wall.
But we weren't caught. Are you sure you really want to toe that line?
The crime was still committed, though.
No, if you want to toe that line, I have parallels I can draw. If you really want to toe that line,
Tell me, man.
oh, there are a lot of politicians who shouldn't be working, public servants.
Well,
So then we should go by that.
I guess we learned it from secondary school.
Well, we should go by that logic and be like, okay, we need to get them as well and
Yeah, and deal with them.
and deal with them.
Yeah.
So those are fond memories I remember from Motown.
Biggest lessons you took out of Achimota School that have stayed with you till now?
I think the school built something in me that it's about planning and having a holistic view. Because you look at the way Achimota was built, and I like to say this, and I'm sure you'll be proud of it. One of my friends is a Prosecco, and his friends, he met one of my Achimota friends in university. And one day, my friend took him for torchlight procession. And he came and he said, oh, I now understand why Achimota people brag. And I'm glad a Prosecco said that. Even though they want to serve a living God, but I'm glad they said. But that brings me to the point. The way the school was built, you could see they considered every facet and aspect of livelihood. To start with, well, now Achimota is in the middle of town. They call it a prime location. That's what some real estate person told me. But you realize they put it out of general town then, which is like, this is a place we need people to study. We need them to be focused. So we'll take them out there, and they have their teachers around as well. For every teacher, housing was built, housing was provided for them. The housemaster's buildings was done such that from their houses, they could open the door into the dorms. Both of them. That is planning. They built the community such that we didn't have a sick bay, I had a hospital. There was a police station. There was a church on the school. There was Agri Chapel, which was non-denominational, interdenominational. They had the Catholic chapel. I think there was even an Anglican.
Yeah. Possibly a mosque as well.
There was a place where Muslims
Muslims
met,
would
but
pray,
they didn't
yeah,
have
yeah.
a mosque. But it taught me holistic thinking. And then that thing that it built in you as well, being a living water to a thirsty land. Of course, I'm a Christian. The Bible says salt and light, but living water to a thirsty land also has some value. You know, you are going to be the water to people who are thirsty. And now looking back, I think I've done that to some of the Butcher people I associate myself.
So they're grateful.
You know, I mean, hey, you're welcome. Butcher and the Prosecco boys. And
So you leave Achimota School, you go to university.
Yeah.
UMAT,
yes,
which stands for University of Mines
and technology.
Technology. Compare your UMAT experience with your Robert Gordon University experience, which is in Scotland.
Are you sure you really want to ask this question?
What are the similarities?
Okay, well, I'll take the first question. I'll
Yes.
compare.
Yeah.
Okay, so to start with, I was schooling at different levels to start with, but I think infrastructure-wise, you can still compare. So in UMAT, it was a bachelor's degree. At Robert Gordon, you're doing a master's degree. So the level of education is slightly different. But one of the things that stood out, that struck me deeply and had a deep impact on me about Robert Gordon was that a lot of the lecturers had practical industrial and field experience in the areas in which they taught. Like while I was there, 90%, like 90% of the people who were teaching, I did drilling and well engineering, right?
In Scotland.
In Scotland.
Okay.
The guy teaching us wells is a 58-year-old guy who had been doing all this all his life. Not the teaching, but I'd been a well engineer and various aspects of that, a drilling engineer and various aspects of that all his life.
So he's coming with real world experience.
He's coming with real world experience. There was one course I did about directional drilling. The guy who was lecturing, directional drilling is basically drilling a well that is not straight. So it goes in a specific direction, right? He had worked with, he retired as VP in Schlumberger, and Schlumberger is one of the world's top directional drilling companies.
So vice president of Schlumberger.
Was like, yeah, that was the level. And he wasn't just vice president, but at some point he said he was vice president of innovation. So these were the people who had to think of new things on how to drill directional wells. And this guy was lecturing us. One of the modules I did as well, there was this guy who had a company that had been bought by a big service company. So 90%, especially in my first semester, I think in my second semester, all the guys that taught me at least had 20 years of experience. That was a huge differentiating factor. You didn't have career people in academia.
You studied mechanical engineering at UMAT.
At UMAT.
Were your lecturers engineers?
There was
practicing?
There was just one guy that we were told had worked as an engineer and during his retirement had gone into lecturing. But a lot of those guys, I'm sure they did some consultancies and stuff like that, but I'm sure some of the guys maybe had done some consultancy, but most of them were career academia. Now, on the mining side, I didn't do mining engineering, but on the mining side, most of them had actually worked in the mines. I don't know to what extent, but this was a major differentiator, the quality, the people you were getting who were lecturing you. These were not people who had read. Funny thing was, there was this module we did. It wasn't my favorite module, but I liked it. It was called Subsurface. And the guy who was teaching, he was the one who had founded a company that another big service company had bought over. This was the level of, this was the guy teaching us. And he'll be in and this was, I think they just brought him on board. So this was like his second year lecturing. And he'll be there with the slides and he'll be like, he'll be going through and he'll be like, oh, sorry, this particular statement is outdated. And he'll be changing
as he's going along.
So these were slides that had been done 4 or 5 years, and this is what's standard for everybody teaching. But this guy, and another thing as well too was, some of these people were currently practicing while lecturing. So when I did the master's degree, I found out the modules were in block forms. So if you were doing 4 modules this semester, you didn't have a schedule where, on Monday from 9 to 12, you are doing module A, and from 1 to 3 are doing module C. No, You did one module 3 weeks.
Mm.
Then you stopped, you submitted your coursework. Then the next,
Then you continue.
and then somebody explained to me the fact that it was because of people like this who were working on rotations, 4 weeks on, 4 weeks off.
So you have to fit your teaching into their schedule.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when he was off for 4 weeks, he could spare that duration too. But these were, so this is somebody who, goes, and I've done jobs like that. I did a job in Congo where I was rotating on the operational side, 4 weeks on, 4 weeks off. So it was like me going to Congo to execute for 4 weeks. I come back and I'm teaching in a school. So what he's teaching you is not what he's read.
No, he did it.
He's done something. He's had a similar experience and he's teaching you on that. Of course, the infrastructure too was different. Now, mind you, I finished bachelor's degree in 2009, went to Robert Gordon in 2014. So there's a 4-year difference. But the technology, course material was available online on they call it campus module. The coursework was such that it required you to think. I did drilling and well engineering. One of the modules we did was called drilling operations management. And the coursework we did, which was 100%, was, okay, we're going to drill a well here. You're the senior drilling engineer. You need to present a plan to management. And that was 100% for that module.
Yeah.
And for somebody who had worked in drilling before, that was practically what senior drilling engineers did.
Yeah.
Or sometimes they got help by the drilling manager. But that was what they actually did. So you had to look at the well design, which is just a technical aspect of it, design it, how it was going to be done, the logistics of it, how you are going to get equipment from the shore to the rig, how you are going to move people in there, your medical emergency response systems. You have to bring all that in and inculcate all that in there. So that was the practicality of what I did in Robert Gordon. And then we had a drilling simulator as well. And from somebody who had actually worked on the rig and had gone to university there, that was really practical. It was actually, that simulator was actually even better than some simulators I'd used for my certification as an assistant driller when I worked then. So the quality of the lectures, the structure, the infrastructure in Robert Gordon was, significantly better. But what I like about UMatt as well too is we hardly did multiple choice questions compared to
like write essays.
Yeah, you wrote. And when it was a calculation question, it was, a typical, you have like 6 questions, you answer 4, which really took your time.
Mm.
Because we weren't that many. In my class, mechanical engineering, my year, we're just about 38 people.
Any women?
There was one lady.
Did she make it to the end?
Yeah, she made it.
Nice.
She made it. She finished.
Nice.
But so weren't that many, so we didn't do multiple choice questions. And I actually had an experience with an open book mid-semester. The lecturer came, this was 3rd year.
At UMatt?
At UMatt. He came in, he said, I'm thinking we'll do open book for MS. Well, what do you guys think? We're like, oh, sir, yeah, we think it's great. I was like, it's open book.
So the textbook is available.
Textbook
you can
is
consult
available.
if you want.
Yeah. And he said, if you want to go to the library, you can even walk to the library. And the distance from the classroom to the library was less than 100 meters. So naive, ignorant students were getting excited. Oh, I can actually walk to the library and go and research on it. By God's grace, that day finally came. About 5 minutes into it, some of us were like, sir, in the future, we don't want open book. We would like to do our closed book.
Why?
You couldn't even understand the question.
Before you're going to go to the website.
Let alone figure out how you were going to.
Next time.
But so the good thing about UMatt as well was that because we weren't that many, the lecturers had time. There was time for tutorials. The questions that were being asked were really technical questions. The only thing I didn't like was it's something with the entire Ghanaian university setup that we didn't have a lot of practical. The school did its best with what they had then. I mean, in 3rd year, we got to do a field trip.
Where did you go?
We went to Takoradi, we went to a Boise thermal plant. I think we went to Gassem, we went to a mine in Takwa. But another thing as well too was that because it was a mine-centered university, we were like peripherals.
Yeah.
So when you did mining, I'm sure if you speak to someone who did mining engineering, mineral
Completely
engineering,
different experience.
yeah, geomatic, geological engineering, totally different experience. We who did like mechanical and electrical would also have a totally different experience. So a pinch of salt, I'm saying it from that background.
Exactly.
But to be fair to them as well, and I think they are top notch these days because at the time I was getting to my final year, they were building. They have built some labs actually, so there were places you could go and actually do practicals for mechanical engineering and electrical engineering, electronic engineering.
Okay.
Students, we could do all that. Yeah.
I'm just curious, Pierre. Did you experience any culture shock when you got to Scotland?
Culture. I'll start with environmental first.
Yes.
So I got there. This was my first time in the UK. So I got there, and I'm an indoor person, so I didn't really notice anything that much. But during the first week, I was speaking with a friend of mine, and we're on the same time zone. Now this was before the clocks moved forward, and he sent me a picture. He sent me a picture of something. It was outside. This was around 3:00. I said, but why is your place so bright and sunny? And then it occurred to me, you know, in UK when they are getting to
Summer.
to winter,
Rather.
hours of visibility is, you know, you get visibility around 9,
Yeah.
by 2, 3.
So shorter days and longer nights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I am in like it's 3:00. I look outside and it's like 6 p.m. in Ghana, and he sends me a picture just around that same time, and it's bright and sunny. So that.
Where was he sending the picture from?
From Ghana.
From Ghana. Okay, so wow. It's bright then, but it's dark here,
Yeah.
and we're on the same timeline.
And I hadn't actually
Time zone.
realized it was dark where I was.
Yeah, because you're inside.
Because I was always inside. But then it occurred to me that, this is different.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I would say that the culture shock it happened when I was working, because I'd worked for some time before I went to do the master's degree.
In Ghana?
Yeah, I'd worked in Ghana for some time.
Okay.
Now, in my work, I was already doing oil and gas, and I was working with Scottish people. So when I go to Aberdeen, which is also Scotland, I'll say I didn't have a huge culture shock because I was used to interacting with, you know, my multicultural Scottish people already.
Yes, I got used to the accents.
Yeah, I'd gotten used to the accents.
Yeah.
The
The
one from Aberdeen, the one from Peterhead, the one from Glasgow, the one from Edinburgh, the one from Inverness. You know, the places and every country has that.
Yes.
The places in Scotland where other Scottish people even struggle to understand what they are saying. So the culture shock would have been rather at work, because I had sort of built a buffer. Before I left and went to do the master's degree, my supervisor, who was a very good friend of mine, he was Scottish. So I'd kind of already gotten used to it. But I think the food, fish and chips.
Every day.
No, I ate it a few times, but then
You liked it?
I liked it. That was actually in my last semester. I moved out of university accommodation, and there was a place just around the road I lived on where they sold fish and chips. So almost every now and then I was there, and I liked fish. I liked chips, but you know, it's a bit surprising that, you know, I've never tried deep fried Mars bars and deep fried. I had this deep fried pineapple and deep fried banana. So I'm thinking,
What business are people frying chocolate? Mars is chocolate.
Yeah, Mars bars.
Deep fried.
Yeah.
In oil.
Yeah. So to start with, the Mars bars on its own is enough
Calories.
to push you to the grave.
To BP levels, man.
Yeah, and then you deep fry it.
What?
And then they take the healthy fruit as well and also deep fry
They
it.
deep fry the pineapple.
Yeah, deep fried banana and all that. I
Deep
haven't
fried
tried that.
banana.
Yeah. And I can tell you what I tried in US. I tried deep fried Oreos.
Deep fried
Oreos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The cookies.
Yeah. And it tastes good.
What is all this stuff with oil that people are
And it tastes good. I wouldn't lie to you.
Deep
It tastes
fried?
good, yeah. I had more than once.
What kind of oil are they using? Coconut
I
oil?
don't know. I didn't care. I know it tasted good. That was all. Actually, the person who took me there first was like, "Oh, you know, this is something you really want to try."
Fried Oreos.
And I tasted it. And it came with ice cream.
No. I think I'll stick with my Killy Willy, man.
And I tasted it, I was like, this is really good. And so
Like 1,000 calories in one bite.
probably. So he took me there and we had lunch and that was it. But that wasn't the last time I went there. Like I marked the place down. I kept going to the place. So the food was different in the UK.
Where people used to sing a dark black man.
Yeah, because this is Aberdeen. Aberdeen is then it used to be, I shamefully say it, I don't know which one is the oil and gas capital of Europe now. But then Aberdeen was the oil and gas capital of Europe. Houston was the oil and gas capital of America.
Okay.
And I wouldn't say who is the oil and gas capital of the world. I don't want to be in trouble. If I say this, your YouTube channel might even be shut down. But then Aberdeen was the oil and gas capital of Europe.
Yeah.
So it was used to seeing people from all kinds of nationalities. That's one thing with oil and gas.
Okay. How about in the town? Yes, in the
Aberdeen was
town.
actually that town.
Okay.
Aberdeen was actually the oil and gas town.
Multicultural.
Yeah.
Okay.
And in fact, Aberdeen is Aberdeen because of oil and gas. So whenever there's a downturn, you see a huge difference. Because actually, a lot of people I work with who are in the Aberdeen office of the company I work from, some of them are actually not from Aberdeen. But because they work in oil and gas and the office is based in Aberdeen, they move around. Like my boss is from Glasgow and lives in Glasgow. So periodically, weekly basis, he moves to Aberdeen. There are certain people who live in Edinburgh would come to Aberdeen for like 2-3 days. And now since you have work from home. So Aberdeen is oil and gas capital of Europe. That town itself is the way it is because of oil and gas. So every time there's a downturn, there's a huge difference in the people, activities going on there. So that city itself is already used to more different nationalities being in there. I mean, you walk on the streets of Aberdeen and you've passed by a Nigerian, you've passed by a Ghanaian, you've passed by a Cameroonian, you've passed by an American, a Canadian, a Norwegian, a Danish person.
Did you experience racism or discrimination at times?
At times in Aberdeen? Or I think, again, because I'd already started oil and gas and I experienced racism on the rig, I was kind of used to it. But actually in Aberdeen, it's a bit more open.
Really?
Not racism.
Okay.
They're more of a bit more...
okay.
Because,
welcoming.
Yeah, because they're already familiar with...
Yeah, foreigners and strangers.
With foreigners and strangers. And to some extent, they also realize that, foreigners and strangers are what have made us who we are. A bit of caveat to that as well, too, was that I was there in school. So my life was a bit skewed.
Yeah.
In Ghana, we say this guy's a triangle student. So my trip was apartment, university, apartment, university, apartment, university, apartment, university, Sunday, apartment, church, back.
Yeah. 3 places.
So I was a bit in a bubble as well, but it wasn't too much because I can tell you, even in the university, in the class I sat in, which was drilling and wall engineering, in the first semester, we sat in the class with so many other courses who need, so many other people who are doing other programs because we had to do similar courses. And in the class, you could count the number of Scottish people that were actually there.
How big would be a class? Your biggest class would be how many?
The biggest class I had then, I think we were over 100.
Wow.
And I think the Scottish people that were there were maybe just 10.
And the others will be coming from... what was the African component like in a class of 100? How many Africans would be?
Just guess how many Africans are there. And guess which country they are
20%.
from. Just guess which country they are
Nigeria, Angola.
Yeah, Nigeria. Then I think the Nigerians there, I haven't checked this factually, but I won't be surprised that when you were grouping nationalities together and checking who had the most, it was Nigerians.
Yes, yeah.
So you had Nigerians who were more. Ghanaians, at that time, in that general class, there were about 6 of us, or 7 of us. There was someone from Ethiopia. There was, I mentioned Nigerians already. You had someone from, I think, Kenya. No, scratch the Ethiopia. I think it was more of Kenya. There was someone from Angola. There was just one guy. Then you had, there was an Irish guy. You had Americans. You had people from Southern America. And then in the second semester, I went into my class, which was just my class, drilling and wall engineering. There were 19 of us. There was just one Scottish guy.
Wow.
1 out of 90.
Yeah.
So
It's
in
a
the class,
minority in his own country.
yeah, you're not getting racism.
Yeah. No, you're not. I mean, the people are more than you.
Yeah, there were 2 Ghanaians. There was one guy from Trinidad and Tobago. There was an Irish guy. There was an American. I think the Indians were quite. Maybe they could have competed with the Nigerians because we had about 2 or 3 Indians I could remember. There was a Nigerian guy there. There were people from Southern America. I'm using it broadly because I think there was some guy from Brazil. I think there were 2 guys from Brazil. There was one guy from, I think, Venezuela. There was another guy from Oman.
You have an interesting address book then.
Yeah.
Or a contact list.
Yeah.
It's like a United Nations.
But this is just like working in oil and gas as well.
Yeah.
Because on a daily basis, you are
You're dealing with different people.
dealing with different people, different cultures, different backgrounds.
I'm curious, before we go to the story.
So for clarity, the racism, yes, I've had some, but I'd kind of...
You're immune to it.
I wouldn't say immune. I'd gotten used to it when I got to
Yeah,
Aberdeen already.
Okay.
And then...
Would it be overt? I mean, or it's like you can feel that this person doesn't really want me here or doesn't think I can perform.
Oh, yeah, you feel it.
Mm.
And I think these days I have a heightened sense of awareness as well. Sometimes you get too comfortable in it. But I can tell you, when I started work, I was working on an offshore drilling rig in Ghana. And the dominant nationality was Americans, and you had a few Scotsmen. Later, we had a few Australians and New Zealanders. But in there, I was on a training program because I came with a degree. And there were people there who had just had high school diploma and had worked years. In my training program, I was supposed to take 3 years to become a first level supervisor. My mentor, who was supposed to mentor me to get up to his level, who was American, told me, the company wants you to become in 3 years what it should take you 11 years to become. That's what he told me.
Mm.
I don't know if it was because I was black. But this was racism offshore in my own country.
Yeah.
There was a part to which where he didn't believe in the program. But he was an American. This was probably his first time seeing black people. And there's another thing as well where, and to some extent, you can't blame them. I think there are 3 types of Caucasians. It's just my opinion. And everybody listening would agree, but the proportions might be different. There's one type that once you're black, you're inferior, low quality, there's nothing you have to offer. There's one type too that has, you're black, but you have a level playing field. You could be smart, you could be not smart, you could be capable, you could be incapable.
Like
So it's how you show yourself to be, what you prove yourself to be. Then there's a third one who has already been around globally, has worked with so many other people, has worked with so many black people, and they actually do realize that, Charlie, some of these black guys are actually way smarter than we are. So these are the 3 spectrum. The proportions...
we can argue on that one.
Anybody would ask would give you...
their take on it.
Their take on it. So you have that feel, but most people who have worked globally a lot would see that, no, these guys are also capable. But then there is also the aspect of it, of the fact that you bought a flight from any of those fancy places you've been to, from the US, from the UK, from Indonesia, or you're just driving in the streets. It's a different feel. You get in the air, you look down, it looks different. But then you get over a certain place and you look down. What's going on here? Then you get out of the car. But why is this like this? Why is it like that? My first experience, and this was when I went to the UK. I'd been traveling prior to that, but this was the first time I'd stayed away from home for a long period. And I went in, I think it was in October. I came back in January, the end of January. I just came for 1 week for holidays. And when I set foot, got out of the plane, I got hit by the hot air.
Welcome to Ghana.
Which wasn't a problem. But then driving through the streets, like, you're not wondering, why is this like this? Yeah. Why is this like this? I mean, so that there's also some reason why and proof why the Western world doesn't respect us. Because why can't we get our stuff together?
Let's get organized.
Yeah. Why? I had this experience just about last month. Why is it that the police knows the traffic light is not working? He won't report it. He won't get it fixed. But we'll stay there and like, yeah, this police doesn't work. They'll come and I'll catch them. And then when they catch you and you're having the discussion and argument with them, they say, oh, but this thing is not working. We've known it for like 2 years.
So why don't you get it fixed?
But the police in another country is there to help you. You don't have to pay a bribe to go through certain things in certain countries. But in certain places, the smallest of things. I'm sure I didn't write my book to expose the Ghana health system, but certain people read it and they said, that is what they got from it. But so you sometimes you can also understand why it is so. But the racism, I know it when I see it.
So you mentioned that you've worked offshore in Ghana.
Yeah.
How far is this offshore?
I think the one I remember is 60 kilometers offshore.
How'd you get there?
So when I worked on the rig, you took a helicopter.
60 kilometers.
Yeah. But you get there in 30 minutes. It's a helicopter. So you get there.
It's still far. I mean, when you land on the rig, all around you is just water.
Yeah.
Can you see the land from there?
No. There's no man's land.
And you're there for how long?
When I worked offshore, when I was on the drilling side, I was there for 28 days. That's the rotation. You get there for 28 days. You stay there, work there for 28 days.
Does the platform move with the waves?
So what I worked on was a semi-submersible rig, which is a bit fairly stable. So sometimes you even forget you're on a floating unit because it's square, and the way it's designed, it has pontoons. It's semi-submersible, right? So the Americans would say semi-submersible. So it's halfway submerged, and that gives it a bit more stability. And the design with the shape as well gives it stability. So when it's drilling and it's moored down, sometimes you even forget that you're on a floating thing. But when you go on drill ships, you feel a bit of movement, yeah.
Really?
And then when you're on what do you call it, like subsea vessels, like what I deal with these days, you feel a bit of it. But yeah, so you get there with a helicopter that's for the rigs.
Listen, 60 kilometers is Accra to Kafui.
Okay.
And you are that far out in the water.
Yeah. And but that's for rigs. For subsea vessels, sometimes you go with what they call a surfer. It's like a taxi boat, right?
Okay.
So it's a smaller boat designed to move faster, moves from the port to the location. I've done one which is 12 hours. Before the vessel was working in Nigeria and was close to the pirate area. So what our client had done was, as part of their security measures, we had to go to Cameroon and then pick the taxi boat called the Surfer from Cameroon to Nigeria. And it took 12 hours. That's a whole working shift.
12 hours on the water.
Yeah. And since you're asking me about stability, that is less stable. That's why you understand what seasickness is.
How many people are on this taxi boat?
Because they are taxi boats, some of them are designed to take about 150 people.
150 people?
Well, it's a taxi boat. It's a taxi. But at the time we're using it, you'd have it's a crew change, so you have about 20 people on it.
So what are you doing in these 12 hours?
You're trying to sleep. Sometimes you're puking as well because you're having the motion sickness. You get seasickness pills. So you're sleeping or you're puking, which means most of your time is in the WC. Or sometimes you're watching a movie on your phone or laptop because it's just like you're in a flight, right?
Yeah, but I can't think of 12 hours on the water. In the dark? Were you traveling?
Well, it depends on the time of the day you are moving. So like that Nigeria gig, when I got off, so that Nigeria project, I joined the vessel in Ghana and we went into Nigeria on the vessel. So that was different. So when I was getting off, it was in the evening. Now I'd worked from 12 midnight already throughout. So I was already tired. So when I got on, I just slept. And when I woke up, we were by the port in Douala. And that was it. So you have the taxi boat. Oh, it gets more exciting. When you get on the taxi boat, there are two ways you get on the vessel or on the installation. This one, you have what you call a basket, a safe transfer basket. It comes on with a crane on the boat, and you get on the basket, and it's a basket, but you stand and hold it like this with life jackets, and the crane picks you up.
No.
The swing.
They lift you.
Yeah, they lift you with a crane.
How high? No. No.
You could go as high as 20 meters. But this is from a subsea vessel, which is closer to the surfer. I've been on a semi-submersible rig, and I'm sure that lift was like 30 meters. But that was like, they call it a frog. So it's like a capsule, and you sit in, and you hold the bars like this, and you already have your life jacket
on.
Yeah, because there's a risk of falling.
Have you ever fallen?
No, it's very low, but
It can happen.
we know where we work, so we put in the extra,
Yes.
and it means that crane also comes under significant scrutiny
Yes.
for man riding. That you have the crane there, but it needs to, apart from it being in shape for lifting and installing equipment, it needs to be certified for man riding. That means that there needs to be certain layers of emergency and safety, because you are carrying human beings.
Mm-hmm.
So you get there either by a helicopter or by a surfer, or if it's a subsea vessel, sometimes they come into port to offload equipment or to load equipment. And so sometimes when it comes into the port, then you just have a gangway, and it's just a ladder you climb and you get on the vessel. So, but I've done all these before. So I've done the helicopter several times. That's when I started oil and gas. It was a rig. Actually, my first actual oil and gas thing, I was going on a platform, Salt Pond Offshore Production Limited, which is offshore Ghana. It was a jack-up converted into a production platform. And what we had was a speedboat, inflated. So you went to Abanzi in Salt Pond, rode your trousers up. I remember this was on the 31st of December 2009. That was my first time. Roll your trousers, Charlie, walk in the water. And this is a Ghanaian beach. So you know how it looks like, right? You have the fishing canoes who have come to fish. You have the small boys around who are swimming in the water. And you have the other people who have done their business in there. So sometimes you are walking, you are seeing somebody swimming, you are seeing somebody's...
You're seeing business.
You can see it floating inside.
Yeah, floating.
And then I got...
Different kind of floating production.
Yes. So I got on the speedboat. It's outboard motor, right? So the guy sparks it. Charlie, we're going, Charlie. The thing starts taking in the water at some point. But they are used to it, Charlie. At that time, it was just me, and I think it was just myself and one more guy, and there were two guys. Then we get to the part where, we get by the installation, and it's a jack-up, right? So
what's a jack-up?
Jack-up is bottom supported. So you have the piece that goes like this. This is the vessel or the structure. And it gets to the location, and it has legs.
Okay, yeah.
The legs get driven
onto
the bottom of the seabed. So this is actually the most stable.
Okay.
Because this actually has legs that go into
the ground.
Yeah.
Seabed.
They go inside a bit. So this is very stable. This is just like, and then the body itself lifts up. So that's why it's called jack up. So it gets jacked up to create an air gap for operational purposes. The air gap sometimes, I think it's about 15 or 20 meters. So we get there, we're on the surface here. The people living are 20 meters above us. And then they lower a winch for the hook. So the hook comes, it gets hooked onto the speedboat.
So they're lifting the speedboat with you in it?
Yeah. Well, that's how you get on. So, and then it gets more exciting. So, normally they were supposed to use the crane.
Yeah.
So it means the crane driver swings over, picks you guys up and swings you out of harm's way and carefully controls it and gets there. But I think on that day, the crane was out of service, or I don't know the reason why, but this was my first time going there. Hey, what do you want to say?
Who me?
So the winch comes down and the winch operator is operating it. When it gets to a certain point, now you are meeting the body, the structure of the rig. So one of the guys in the boat had what you call the paddle, something like a paddle, which when we're swinging and we're getting close to the body, he would stick it out so that it gives you some gaps.
Yeah,
so we don't hit.
You don't come and hit the structure.
And the thing came all the way up, and then Charlie. Then there were 2 or 3 guys. Then they connect something, then they hold it, and then they lower it, and we get on. That was my first time going offshore. And then, so I did that. Then the second time was when I went with a tugboat, which wasn't a speedboat because it didn't have the speed. But then I joined in Takrady Port, or I think it was Secondary Naval Base. Again, that time I got there in the evening, so I fell asleep. Me, I don't joke with my sleep. I don't need drugs to put me to sleep.
Just sleep.
So I wake up and Charlie, we're by the installation. The crane comes down, picks us up.
How long was that journey?
I think it was about 6 hours. But I slept, so I didn't know anything.
Crazy.
And then
Pirates? Have you guys had any encounters with pirates?
I haven't personally, but I've met people who have had that. So Nigeria is where they have the piracy issue. So what we do when my vessel was going to, actually I was in Nigeria with a rig. So again, we are safety, security conscious. So the rig had worked in Ghana and was going to drill a well in Nigeria for the same client. So the people in the office, had done everything they needed. We were just on the rig. By the way, that trip I was on the rig for 45 days.
That's a lot of days.
Yeah, I wanted to accelerate my training.
Okay.
There was some scope that every time it was being done, I was off. So when I was going, I spoke to the rig manager. I'm like, yeah, I want to go on.
1.5 months.
So that meant that the rig was moving from Ghana to Nigeria. So moved Ghana, Togo, Benin, at a rendezvous point. Now you need to meet patrol vessels. These are just like you have patrol on land, right? With you have your entourage with vehicles, with armored vehicles that have guns. Escorts. You have the same thing in a pirate zone on water. So you have the escort boats with guns and stuff that meet you. We do what you call vessel hardening or rig hardening. You install razor blades around all the entry points.
Razor blades?
Yeah, razor wires. It's a spiral. Mm-hmm. Well, similar to what we put on walls.
The barbed wire?
The barbed wire, the spiral one.
You install it on the vessel?
Yeah. Because, so you have the guns, which are the first line of defense. If that fails, because in Nigeria, they've had cases where the pirates have actually got onto the installation.
Yes.
So just in the same way you put the razor spiral on your wall to prevent thieves from coming, we also put it on the entry points on the rig. We have lockdown procedures. We have lockdown drills. It's like, okay, this is the safest point on the rig, on the vessel. So we'll do a lockdown drill. Everybody gathers there. We have a satellite phone that can call outside to call for extra help. We have food here. It's an emergency.
Yeah, of course.
Because when the guys come, so going to Nigeria, and it happened when I worked on the rig and when I worked on the subsea vessel. And this is all arranged. This is all planned. So you have the patrol vessel, which is supposed to go around in a 500-meter radius. That's all radius. That's all they do. And they have their guns, and you keep communicating. And there's someone on shore who they communicate with, because these are people's lives. I mean,
big time.
Well, just in the same way that people on land are important, and you want to protect them.
Yeah.
We need a protection.
One time, since you're producing
yeah.
expensive and very necessary hydrocarbons for us to use.
When it's produced, it's called oil and gas. Sorry, you can't call it oil and gas.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so now let's segue into your story. So 11th August 2020, when you woke up that morning, what were your plans?
My plan was to work. At that time, I was a project engineer. At that time, we were put in a bid for a scope of work to do in Ghana, where we're just at negotiation stage. It was almost home and dry.
And you were breaking from Ghana?
From Ghana.
Then, okay.
Mind you, this was also in the midst of COVID.
Yes.
But the restrictions had been eased a bit.
Yeah.
So there were, when the whole world said, hey, we need to lock down, mm-hmm. And the whole world realized, oh, wait, we still need people to work. So around August, most people, I was doing a hybrid schedule. And on this day, which was a Tuesday, I was working from home.
Okay. Prior to that day, what had been your most significant achievement in your career? What were you most proud of?
Ooh. There aren't too many things I'm proud of in my life. I'll give you a few.
What were you happy about? You say, hey, I'm happy.
So you remember the guy I told you had said the company wants you to become in 11 years. In 3 years, what you should take you to
11. Yeah.
Well, I finished my program in 2 years.
Nice one. You gave it Jara.
And in 2 years, when I wanted to go somewhere else, they forced me to actually stay on the rig and gave me a job.
Nice.
So that was, it's 3 years.
That's a major one.
Somebody said it should take you 11 years.
You did it in 2.
And I did it in 2.
Nice.
And it was in his face. He was there
Thank you.
as well. Another proud moment was actually, so I was the same guy. I don't know what I did to this guy. Maybe he had some dream and saw me hitting him in it, or I don't know. Or I looked like someone who had done something bad to him in the past. But so when I became an assistant driller, that was what I was training to become. There were certifications we did. It's called well controlled certification. And as an assistant driller, I had to do fundamental, but then there was a supervisory level. Now, during my training, I had gone and done the fundamental. And the instructor said, he told me he was going to recommend that. I was so good, the next time I came, I needed to do supervisors. So it was something you do every 2 years. It was for offshore people. My 2 years was up. I was renewing this. And I was like, I was going to do supervisory. So I went, I did it. I was a bit complacent, but I passed and did it anyway. And I came back. Now, this was why I was proud, because as far as I knew, I'd gone and done that. Life goes on. There was one guy on the rig. He was Ivorian. When I finished, I came back one time, we were talking, was like, I'm glad you passed. You did us proud. I was like, hey, what do you mean? I was like, oh, when you signed up, so this guy was the rig safety and training coordinator. Every training went through him. I was like, oh, when you signed up to do that program, people came and were telling me, no, this guy's not due for supervisors. He can't do supervisors. He doesn't have the experience yet to do that. But you went and you did it one time and you came back. So these were 2 proud moments I remember. But these were way back. There was also another one at work where, so I started my career drilling, right, in oil and gas, done my master's drilling, came back and hoping to do drilling and never got a drilling job, then went into subsea. So since you understand medical terms, it's like you've trained in orthopedics and then you come and for some reason they say, Charlie, go and support plastics or hematology. Is it rheumatology? Rheumatology.
Mm-hmm.
Fine, they are all medicine,
Nice.
but they are different.
Different.
So I moved into subsea because that was the only job available. And I was able to prove myself. I was able to prove myself competent so much that when my contract finished and the company wanted to maintain presence in Ghana, they now came back for me and said, we think we can build something around you.
So,
now, the proud moment for me was I'd moved from I had experience in one sector, I'd done further education in one sector, gotten a job in a different sector, and I was so competent that the guys came back for me. And I was living and working there. Fine, of course, sometimes I'll do certain things and you realize, okay, maybe this guy hasn't been here for that long, in this sector for that long. But I was able to do the basic of what was required of me. So these were some of the things that I just moved into a different sector and I was living the dream. I was balling.
So what time did you wake up on the 11th of August, 2020?
I don't remember, but it was probably 5 a.m. because that was usually the time I woke up. And especially since I was working from home, I was probably not too much in a hurry. Okay. But I woke up, like I said, we were going through a tendering phase. We were going through negotiations. And I was at a point where I was having technical discussions with a team as if we were already working with them. Because at that time as well, you want to, whilst you are contractually and commercially, you are squeezing them somewhere, you need to also show technical, oh, Charlie, I know you are very familiar with the principle as a commercial.
Definitely.
So I was working technically with them. So that morning I'd woken up and this was what I was working on. I think I was even doing a deck layout. A deck layout is, let's just say the floor of the vessel.
Okay.
It's steel, but it's floor. And this is the scope you are doing. So this is where you're putting this chair. This is where you're putting that desk.
So it's like a floor plan for an event.
Yes.
This goes here, this goes here.
I like to call it an event.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, to deliver work. Yeah, but yeah, it's basically the floor plan. And we call it deck plan or deck layout.
Okay.
So I think that day I was actually working on that morning. That was one of the things on my mind I had to work on. I think we're doing something again for that tender. We had to do something local content. So I think I had put some components together and I was going to give it to the financial coordinator to give the figures. What I had done was, I think these are the components we need. So you look at it and since you are the finance person, you see the figures, give the figures. So those were the two things I remember I had on my mind. I also had a personal project on the side. It was a volunteer initiative. And I would later find out this, but I knew, but that day I texted someone in the morning. I live around the Yarif, I still live there. And this guy had said, oh, I was like, oh, can we meet today? And he said, oh, yeah. You know, I'm going to Abri to do something. So later when I'm coming down, I'll give you a call. So we had exchanged that message as well. Sometimes and that day I knew this guy was going to come down and he would give me a call, send me a message, I'll drive out and meet him.
Did you live alone at that time?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is what was on my mind. And that evening as well, I was going to have a meeting with my mentor.
Okay.
As well.
And then what happens? Did you have breakfast?
I don't remember if I had breakfast. I think I probably maybe have had coffee or something. Yeah, I'm not too much into, I haven't bought into the breakfast, the most important meal. So I probably may have had coffee or hot, cocoa, chocolate, the natural one without sugar. I probably would have had one of those. But my biggest meal I really enjoyed was lunch.
Yeah.
So
what do you remember before the explosion?
So before the explosion, I was probably behind my computer working. So that morning as well, when I woke up, the weekend before, I had traveled somewhere with my friends was from some school that you know of. I'm sure you know of. And when we're coming back, I'd passed by my mother's place. She had given me some okra stew. So that morning when I woke up, Sunday I put the okra stew in the freezer. So that morning I put it out.
That morning was a Monday?
No, that morning was a Tuesday.
It was a Tuesday, okay.
I put it out to thaw. So that afternoon, what had happened was I prayed in the afternoon. I used to pray on my own about 30 minutes. And this was because this was a working day. So 30 minutes, quick, sharp. So I'd probably gotten up from my desk, dealing with the client, dealing with people internally, interacting. Somewhere at the back of my mind, waiting for this guy who had gone to Abri to text me and say, hey, I'm done, I'm on my way down, or give me a call. And so I'd said my prayers about 30 minutes, went to the kitchen to put the okra stew that had thawed from the morning, a little bit of planning as well.
Yeah.
Something that Motown taught you. Some people from certain schools will just
we just do it there.
Just get out and expect to go and do it.
So what time was this when you went to the kitchen?
So this was, I don't know the exact time, but this was between 12 and 1 p.m.
Okay.
In the afternoon, midday.
Right. So you enter the kitchen and you do what?
So I enter the kitchen, I put on the fire.
Gas?
And it's gas.
Okay.
And everything is fine, there's nothing, you put on the lighter, turn on the stove, blue flame, sweet, clean. And then I remember hearing my phone ring in the hall.
Uh-huh.
I thought I had put on the pan on the fire. That's the stew. But either way, I just left to go and answer the call. So I go back into the hall, I pick the call, I speak with whoever it was. Then I came back to the kitchen. Now the kitchen door is closed. I opened the door and I just saw fire come at me, the blue flame with a bit of orange around it. And I heard a sound, vroom. So I turn on the stove, go back in to receive the call. I'm back in open.
Wow. It's like a wall of fire?
Yeah, it was, it was more like that.
Faced you straight like
that? Yeah, faced me, I saw it. I still remember how it looks like. Like I said, there's the blue.
Yeah.
With is that yellow or amber or?
Is it science that tells us that the blue flame is the hottest one?
I don't know the colors inside. So pardon me. What is it? Yellow, amber, orange?
One of those.
This one's I don't know. So
what did that feel like, man?
At that time, I don't remember a feeling. I just remember seeing it, and then the next thing was me getting up from the floor. So between seeing it and whatever got me to the floor, I have no memory of it. I absolutely have no memory. I've never had any memory of what happened in between there. So what I have recorded in my mental hard drive, which has ever been logged there, is boom, and then I'm getting up. I don't know how I got to the floor.
What do you think happened? Why was that flame there? What happened?
So I think there was a gas leak.
Mm-hmm. Where was the cylinder?
The cylinder was in the kitchen, but there were two doors, right? So when you enter the kitchen, there's one door here, from the house, and you are entering the kitchen. You are in the house, going into the kitchen. There's a door, and then opposite is another door that takes you outside. Just like every kitchen has a door that leads outside. And the cylinder was by that door with the stove. It was a tabletop gas cooker.
So you hit the deck, and then what happens? What do you remember?
So I just remember getting up from the floor. I don't remember even how I ended up on the floor. I have no. Well, remember it's wrong. I don't have any memory of how I got to the floor.
You fell backwards, or
I don't have any memory.
No memory at all.
No memory. That's why I corrected the remember, because remember means
there was something there.
There was something, and I have forgotten. But there is no memory recorded in my brain, or or any part of my mental faculties, whichever part stores information. There is no memory of how I ended up on the floor. So all I have recorded in my mind is vroom. And then I'm getting up from the floor, which I don't know how I got there.
Were you feeling any pain?
At that time, I wasn't feeling. There was no pain. I couldn't record my. I don't have memory of any pain. So I got up from the floor, and I just turned around and left the kitchen. And I think this was more of a reflex thing, because mind you, the only memory was seeing the fire. So reflex-wise, you've seen fire. Move.
Yeah.
And then I left the kitchen, walked out to the front of the building, opened the door, and I saw my neighbor on the left-hand side, Rita. And she has a different recollection of how this, but I'm saying it from my perspective.
Of course.
I remember her asking me, "Are you okay?" And I said, "Oh, I think I need to go to the hospital." And at that time, I was just thinking of that as a precautionary measure, because I only remember the only memory I have is just seeing the flame. So with my precautionary mindset, I'm like, "Oh, let's just go to the hospital. Let's just make sure everything is all right, that there's been no damage." That was all I had in mind.
So you went to the hospital.
And then
who took you?
She took me. So I think I remember telling her, "I think I need to go to the hospital." She was like, "Okay." So she went into her building to get her car keys, so that she would come, open her gate, and get the car out, and then we'll go. And I made my way to my gate.
Were you able to walk around?
Yeah, I was
you were
walking.
burned.
Well, at this time, I didn't know I was burnt.
Okay.
Right?
So you're kind of operating on a different.
Yeah, it's probably adrenaline.
Yeah.
Or some angels
blocking things out,
or some angels holding me around.
Yeah.
But at this time, I wasn't feeling any pain. The only memory I had was just seeing fire. So as far as I knew, I was just going to the hospital for just
a checkup.
Yeah, just.
What was her reaction though? How was she feeling?
I really didn't see her reaction that well.
Has she ever spoken to you about how she reacted to you?
Yeah.
What did she say?
We'd had that discussion. She was going crazy. She couldn't believe what was happening. She said, so she actually said that when we had the discussion, she said when I came out, she saw powder, white powder. I think, well, there was some damage to the POP in the room, in the kitchen.
Ceiling?
Yeah, in the ceiling. And so the white powder had
descended on you.
Yeah. So she said when she saw me, she was thinking to herself, hey, this guy, what? Yeah, we are Ghanaians. Has this guy gone to some church and they've told him, or he's gone to some shrine and they've told him to
do something,
pour powder on himself?
Saturday night.
She told me that's what she was thinking of.
Wow.
But so when she went into the building to get the key, I walked to the gate because I was going to open the gate, and I had a car parked in my house, but for some reason, it didn't even occur to me that I could sit in my own car and drive, or even look for the key. For some weird reason, that never occurred to me. So I walked to the gate, put my hand on the lock, and then I saw the back of my palm. Then I saw that the brown was peeling off. I could see when it goes off, maybe you haven't had that experience, but there's a white layer.
Yeah.
I could see that. Like, oh. So I think I stood there for a while, as far as I remember. But one of my neighbors on the right-hand side saw what was going on, so jumped over the wall. The walls are not too tall, sorry. So it's something you can easily jump over. He jumped over and came and opened the gate for me. So it was when I stepped out that it dawned on me that, okay, this is a bit more serious than I had envisioned. This is not just something, okay, like I've had some accident. And I remember when I was in Achimota, there was a lady who was a year or two behind me who had a burn partially on her face. I don't remember if it was acid or fire. But that picture of her partially bent face just came to mind. I thought, is my whole face going to look like what a little part of her face looked like? Then it began to dawn on me that this was a bit more serious. So eventually Rita got her keys, came out, opened her gate, and I went into her house, opened the car door, and sat at the back seat. I don't even know why I sat at the back seat. Then she backed down and she was like, well, she can't take me alone. So she called another neighbor of ours who joined her. And then we drove to Nyaho Medical Center.
Airport residential area. From Oyarifa?
From Oyarifa
Wow.
to Nyaho, because that was the closest hospital I could remember, which was big as well. And it was signed up on my company health insurance as well. Now, the previous year, I'd had a bit of some slight infection and I'd gone there. So I was already in their system, I thought, and this is closest here. So in the car, I don't know what happened. I just burst out singing worship songs and I was telling them to sing with me. And I could hear myself, I could smell myself, the hair on my skin, the smell of burnt hair. Like when sheep is slaughtered in Ghana.
Yeah, and goats and sheep, that smell.
I could smell the smell of myself in the car as we were going. In the meantime, so I was singing, I was praying, and I was giving her directions as well, because I don't know if it was in the spur of the moment that she lost the directions or she didn't really know where Nyaho was. But I was the one in the car who knew where Nyaho was, and it was usually on my way to work. So I gave her directions to get there. We got there, I was able to get out of the car myself, and I think I was put on a wheelchair. Then I don't remember how I got transferred onto a stretcher.
You're still conscious all this time, though?
Yeah, I knew what was going on. I was still singing. I was actually around that time I'd read about this guy. There's this guy called William Tyndale. He was a priest, kind of, but he felt that the Bible had to be translated from Latin into a language that everybody could read. And so he started working on Bible translation, and it was considered a crime by the Catholic Church. So the church in England burnt him alive.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
And around that time, I was sort of narrating the story to the people around. I don't know why I was saying that, but I had read his story, and it was just fresh on my mind. And I didn't know if I knew because I was burning, but I remember telling people the story. I was still singing, and they started giving me first aid. And then I gave Rita my number and said, hey, I just remembered, I had to tell my mom what had happened. So I gave her, I didn't have my phone there because the other guy who joined us, Mr. Buffo, he's an older guy. Basically, his wife went back to my building and locked the door and kept the key. So my phone and everything was there. So Rita brought her phone. I mentioned my mom's numbers. She dialed. I called. So she put it on speaker. I was like, oh, I've had a little accident, so I'm at Nyaho. You don't want to.
No, you always minimize. You don't want mommy to be too concerned.
Yeah.
It's normal.
So then I went in and the doctor came in and he said, oh, he realized there was no hair in my nose. He suspects that I've inhaled some hot gas or some of the fire.
There's no hair in your nose?
Yeah.
Got burnt?
Yeah, that's what he said. Because, people were supposed to have hair in their nose
to protect.
Yeah, but he said he realized there was no hair in there.
Wow. Has it come back?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've even seen some green in there, Jerry. So.
Hallelujah. What the hair's in our nose?
It's grown and it's even turned grey.
So it means it's there.
Solid, firm and deep.
Be so.
So he said, okay, so I'm transferring you to a place. He said, okay, so you have, so I assume it's gone into your system, your breathing system, and we don't have the capacity to deal with that here. So I'm going to transfer you to a place where they have the capacity to deal with that.
So mean out of Nyaho?
Out of Nyaho, yeah.
Okay.
I will later find out that place was Kolebu Teaching Hospital.
Okay.
But of course, I was okay, cool. Just singing my song, minding my own business. In what seemed like a few minutes to me, I was put in the back of an ambulance. So now Rita was beside me in the back of the ambulance. Mr. Buffo was sitting by the driver. I don't know what else they put on me. But it seemed like a few minutes to me. I was in Kolebu.
They were going fast.
Yeah. Well, so now I have a different feeling when I'm driving and I hear an ambulance.
Yes, then you know that somebody needs to get somewhere quickly.
And I give
give them
way.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, not to say in the past I didn't give way,
Yeah,
but I can totally relate
100%.
when I hear the
Yes,
ambulance
yeah.
now. So we got there, and so apparently Rita had called my mom back and said, hey, we're being transferred to Nyaho. And apparently she had also made a few calls. So, no, we're being transferred to Kolebu.
Mhm.
So we got to Kolebu, door opens. And I remember my mom coming in and speaking to me. I don't remember what she said. I just remember hearing her say, I just remember seeing her, and she probably maybe said some things. So
What was her mood?
I just remember seeing her. I don't
Okay.
remember
What she was expressing.
was expressing. And so I got wheeled into, so I'd gone straight to the National Reconstructive Plastic Surgery and Burn Center. So I got wheeled in front of the male ward, and I remember people were coming in, I think nurses, doctors. What is this? What are you doing? What happened? You know, the various basic details, name, age, this, that. Then I remember seeing one of my cousins there. I would later find out that apparently I was being prepared for surgery. Of course, I had no clue.
No.
And apparently he had come there with things my mom had called him and told to bring. But I remember seeing him and we spoke a bit. And me, I thought I was just chatting with the guy.
Yeah.
I didn't know what was going on.
Wow.
So apparently at some point they noticed the inhalational injury and one person made a call there, anesthetist. This word, I always bite my tongue saying it. The person in charge of anesthesia.
Yes, anesthetist.
Made a call.
Yeah.
You have experience. So, made a call. So I was wheeled into the theater. I didn't know there was a theater then. I just remember being wheeled somewhere. And I don't know, we got to a point I just remember hearing people say, I just remember telling people, oh, you guys, let's hold our hands and pray. That was all I remember. I don't remember what I said. Around midnight into the early hours of the next day, Wednesday, I'll wake up in a place called the ICU.
Intensive care unit.
Yeah. I didn't know it was the ICU then, but I woke up and saw two people standing, a lady and a guy standing in front of me. And I remember saying they should read me a bedtime story. I don't know why I said that.
You wanted to sleep.
Well, like I said, no, I didn't have, I don't have problems sleeping.
Yeah.
And I've never had, those nice movie things. Maybe you've read them too. What will be sitting by you and the big bad wolf came and then the child falls asleep. I had bedtime stories.
Yeah.
I had Hansel and Gretel, Red Riding Hood, all those fancy nice ones, which I read during the day, not in the night.
So you're in the ICU.
Yeah.
And then what happens? That you can remember or recollect?
Ooh, I remember a lot of them. I remember people visiting me. I remember my uncle coming in, but the one who says I should call him Grandpa.
Yes. I
just saw his back, but I knew his form and how he looked like for the first few days. So I didn't know when I woke up and when I slept. And then I remember that, I said I was going to see my mentor. So on the way to the hospital, I told Rita I gave her 3 names to call. My mentor, my colleague here in Ghana, and my boss in Norway. I said, call these 3 people, tell them what had happened. I gave her the password to my phone. As well, whilst I was in the car. So in the midst of singing, giving directions, praying and all that, I'd said that somewhere. So when she went home, she'd call this guy. So I remember this guy also coming there. This is the first few days. I didn't know when I slept. I didn't know when I woke up. I had all kinds of machines in me. I didn't know then. I was on a ventilator. But all I knew was...
Because your breathing was...
Yeah, I needed help. Yeah.
You needed help to breathe.
Yeah. And then because I had inhaled some of the gas, what happened was the hot air was... They call it severe inhalational injury. What happened was I'd had heat, noxious gases and heat in my airway system. The immediate danger was that my internal organs would swell and would block the airway and I wouldn't be able to breathe.
Yeah.
So what they did that first day where I said, let's pray, was what they call intubation. That was putting tubes into my system to one, hold the airway together and also help me breathe with the ventilator. So a few days into the ICU, I'd realized that when I wanted to say something, in my mind, I was speaking like I'm speaking now, but the people can't hear what I'm saying.
Because it was affecting your voice and your breathing, right?
I don't know if it was because I had affected my voice or there were so many things in my mouth. Because mind you, there were so many things in my mouth. and I had they call it the nastrogastric tube, which goes into your nose, and they know based on your height, they know where your stomach should be.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I got fed.
What were they feeding you?
They call it fortified food with some nutrients, and they put whey protein in it, and it's something they cook, and it's just some liquid something.
Yeah, mashed liquid.
Yeah, and then they mix it with whey protein, and then they put a syringe at the end of the NG tube, and then they pump it in. So that was how I got fed. And then I had they call it IV lines, central line, that's it. It gets connected into the jugular. You have a big muscle here. So drugs that need to go into your bloodstream go in there, and I'm sure that may also
was going through your neck, through your
through the veins in there. Yeah.
So
You'll see the marks.
Yeah, I see the mark.
Yeah, and I have some here too.
So that's how they were introducing the drugs into your system.
Yeah, because I couldn't open my mouth. I mean, I'm not even awake to start with. I'm sedated, wake up here and then. I don't know when I'm sleeping. I don't know when I'm waking up. I don't fully have consciousness. If you tell me you are giving me drug, I might even choke on it.
Yeah. Did you have any dreams?
Oh yeah, there were so many weird ones. There were some weird ones. I'd have some dreams, and one of them I remember a lot was me in some black bag. And I opened the bag, and around me, like, it looked like the black bag was in some stew or something. You know, Ghanaian gravy.
Yeah.
Like, I'm serious. I know these are, this is weird.
Wow.
But these are the dreams I had. There was one dream as well too. I had me and somebody were walking somewhere. When we were walking, it was like we were floating, and I went to a certain place, and all I saw were coffins. That was one of the dreams I had as well. But the one with me in a black bag and a black bag in a stew was a lot. There was a lot of those ones. For some reason, I didn't feel the heat, and I don't remember the smell of the stew. But all I knew was that I was in some black zipped bag, and when the bag gets open, all I see around me is stew. And then there used to be some dream I had every day that was going to be wound dressing. This was when I had gained a bit of consciousness in the ICU. So now I wasn't being sedated any longer. But I gained consciousness, and I kind of knew what was going on.
You could hear people talking?
Yeah. And then at some point I had been extubated.
Meaning?
The tubes had been taken out, so I was now breathing on my own.
Okay.
But I still had breathing exercises to do.
You were on that ventilator for 4 weeks?
Yeah, it was, approximately 4 weeks. And it was on and off. Because there are dangers as well with being on the ventilator. I mean, it's a foreign material in you. Every foreign material in you can introduce infection. It's the reason why the central line got changed several times. Because it stays here for a while. There's a limit there. You take it out, move it somewhere else. So there were times when they thought, oh, he's stable. We think everything is okay now. Let's extubate. They extubate, and then the parameters are not good, and it's like...
Going back in.
Yeah. It was even explained to me. I don't know if they did the clear, when they rub the thing.
Yeah.
But one of the medical officers told me, there were a few times when they thought they lost me.
Wow.
I don't know if they did the where they
jump you back,
where they rub the two irons together.
Yeah.
Clear.
Yeah.
I don't know if they did that.
Whoa.
But they say there were times when they thought they lost me. So, but then basically there were times when they'll take me off the ventilator because parameters are looking good. Again, you don't want the person to be on for too long because that also has its own complications it could bring. So the person stays on and you feel, okay, everything is less extubating. They extubate and it's like, I think for the layman, when you watch movies, when that line goes straight.
Yes, then you know that it's curtains.
That's goodbye.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think the lines were straightening up.
Yeah, no. We need the curves.
According to the Bible, you like your lines to be straight. Yeah, but these lines, you don't want them to be straight. You want them crooked.
We want them going up and down.
You want these lines crooked.
Wow.
So I would think those things. So it wasn't the totality of 4 weeks. It wasn't 4 straight weeks, but they'll take it off and be like, hey. I mean, there was one night that I remember, and that night I thought this was it. I thought that was the end of the road for me that night. It was a Monday dawn. And they'd actually told me that, oh, we think you're stable. You're here now. So this week we'll monitor and take you off. And all of a sudden I was struggling to breathe. They'd called the anesthetist on call, was making his way there. And I was just struggling. I don't think I actually prayed, but in my heart I had settled that, Charlie, if this is the end of the road,
what you going to do?
Hey, that's fine. But thankfully I didn't see, I didn't see Jesus or any angel or anything there. But that day, if I had seen Jesus, I probably wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
Or I'll convince him. Like, if you are here, let's go.
Let's go. Why, yeah.
Then maybe they'll show me somebody praying. Jesus will say this, but I'll say, hey, open his eyes to see that I'm with you. Then maybe I'll see somebody. I'll be like, Jesus, this person doesn't even know me. If I go,
Charlie.
nothing will affect him. They just know I'm praying for my friends. They'll just share the tear and go. But I didn't have that privilege. So, but yeah, I'd sort of.
And you said you did breathing exercises after they took you off the ventilator.
Yeah.
What kind of?
There was an equipment. I don't know what it's called, but it has balls in it. When you see it, you think it's something children play with. So I'm supposed to blow the air into it for all the balls to move up.
You jump up. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's my breathing out. So that it's supposed to work the lungs.
Yes.
And get them, firing up.
So you have to be doing that quite regularly.
Yeah. Wow. So what's the device? It should be at home, not probably at my mom's place. I'm sure if I look through, I can find it.
You spent a lot of time in the intensive care unit.
Yeah, 6 weeks. At some point when I was leaving, it's like you've gone to a place, you've fallen in love with a place, you've gotten used to it. I live in because it was nice to, Kolebu is an old building, right? But intensive care unit was one of the new buildings that had been built. I was there alone, and I'm a solitary person. So even though that implied that I wasn't too well, I didn't have a problem. I like being there alone. 2 nurses at my beck and call, Charlie. I had AC there.
But you were 39% brand, oh.
Well, I didn't fully understand what was going on there. I didn't fully understand the gravity of what had happened to me.
Had you seen your
till
injuries?
I left that.
Had you seen your injuries?
Well, I knew there were bandages on me.
Had you seen your face?
I didn't see my face.
All the time that you were there?
In the ICU, no. Because you can get cameras, phones in, but they don't allow anyone to pick a call there. There's no mirror there, which is intentional. Because, imagine, when you get there, there's the shock your heart can take. Like I said, I look like a mixed breed. I look like a half.
Your face became fair.
Yeah. Oh yeah, don't look down. Don't look at me and think I'm black now. Like any half-coat you've seen, I could pass for any of that person, any of those people, any half-coat you know.
Wow.
Which ones you know? Van Vicker,
Michelle. You were like that.
Yeah. I'm serious. I'm not joking.
I want to see those photos later on.
I'll show them to you. I'm serious. So imagine how you would feel like that shock could kill you, because I didn't understand fully what had happened. Fine, I was in the ICU. I knew I wasn't fully well. I was beginning to understand that I wasn't well, and I knew that leaving the ICU was progress to the main ward. But the gravity and the extent of which it was, I knew I had to learn how to walk again. I had to learn how to stand on my feet again. I had to learn how to eat. I couldn't even eat on my own at some point. But
how are you doing the number 1s and number 2s?
The number 1, I had a catheter on.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So somebody
somebody would have to help you.
Yeah, well, it got installed when I was in surgery, right? So because that's one of the first things they do. Number 2, I could raise myself a bit, so I'll raise myself. They'll put a bedpan, a bedpan under, and then somebody will clean me up.
Did you feel helpless?
I was helpless. There was nothing I could do. For crying out loud, even breathing, my machine had to help me breathe. So the only thing I could do was think and maybe talk when I could speak.
What were your thoughts back then?
Most of them were the dreams. The thoughts. There's a funny one. There was this lady in the ICU that looked nice to me. So I remember one time my cousin visited me. I was like, Charlie, I see one girl before here. They beat me.
You did. I see you. I bunches this day your body and everything. You check out some woman. What describe the woman to me, my brother? What did they wear?
Oh, you know what they wear? They wear scraps.
Yeah. Oh, it'd be nice.
I'm not going to. There are a lot of professionals there. If I tell you in profession right now, I'll go start it for.
It'd be medical.
It'd be medical professional. Yes, it'd be medical professional.
Okay.
Where they work for ICU at that time.
They wear mask.
They wear mask. Yeah.
So what attract you to her?
I don't know.
When you do your bed inside, where you see them?
Me, I'm chat sometimes. I don't know if maybe we had something in common. So, and I actually spoke in Ghana. I called him.
Yes.
I said, Charlie, I see this one girl from here. He was like, hey, let's think of how you get out of here first.
Exactly.
Let's think of how you get out of here first. And I remember even that night when I slept, I had a dream about me and that lady. But I haven't spoken to her since.
Yeah. You don't go back and say thank you to him.
I should.
You should, man.
I know how to do that.
She may watch this interview.
I'll go back. I'll make it a point. I'm going.
Surgeries.
So how do I even say it? Obviously,
No,
you were
yeah,
the one I was
so you were the
talking
one I was
about.
admiring, man. In my state.
Oh yeah, be true. I'm serious. But the funny thing was when I told recently when I brought it up with him, I was like, Charlie, I don't remember. I was like, but me, I remember very well.
Of course.
I was like, Charlie, you know, Charlie, not get okay, be anything for a while. Like,
Focus. Were there times where you felt, why me?
I did feel helpless a lot several times, but I don't remember the why me part. At that time as well, I was in a hurry to get out of the place actually. Because at that time there was this strong drive in me where I felt, Charlie, I'm not finished my job on earth. Like, there's a lot for me to do. So I wanted to get out. The other thing as well too was, so in that year my grandmother had passed. This was the same year my grandmother passed.
Yeah.
And we buried her in March. And it was just, I think we'd done that in a weekend.
COVID.
It was just that week that COVID was declared a global pandemic and everybody was shut down.
Yeah.
Then, you know, in the Ghanaian system, mother dies, the family gives a mother figure.
Yeah.
So the mother figure that was given to my parents, she also passed during COVID.
The mom?
No, the mother figure.
The mother figure, okay. Oh, the mother figure that was given?
Yeah,
oh, no.
as grandmother to my parents.
Oh.
To my parents and to my mother and her,
and her siblings.
She also passed.
Oh, no.
Went for the funeral. Then the last straw on the camel's back was when I was in UMAT in Takwa. One of my friend's grandmother, she was a very hospitable person. They lived in Takwa. For her, when you got to the house and she got to know you were her grandson's friend, you automatically her grandson. She would treat you like, and you know, after school, I hadn't seen her in a long time. There was one time I was planning to go and see her, in July I heard she'd also passed away.
Oh.
So, you remember the trip I told you about that we'd gone to Takwa with people from other places? It was her 1 week celebration we'd gone for.
Yeah.
And we'd come back. So whilst I was in the ICU, I was like, this is the last respect I could pay her by going for her funeral. So as far as I was concerned, I wanted to really quickly get out of this place.
You get things
like, time no day.
Time no day, man. Time no day. I
was like, Charlie, I have a lot of business to take care of. Like, I need to. Yeah. So remember in the ICU, I spoke with one of the nurses and I was like, and I could remember at the time I got there, we went for the 1 week. At that time, I think they had agreed it was going to be in October or something. That was when the funeral. So I called her. I was like, oh, Charlie, you think by October I'll be ready to leave, right?
You're asking this in August?
Yeah, in either August or September. While I was in the ICU, I called one of the nurses and I was like, Charlie, if you look by
October, if you go out.
October, I'll be ready. I didn't tell her what I was going to do, but in my mind, I may not be in a position to drive, but, you know, the last time we drove, so, you know, maybe one of the other people will drive and we'll go and, you know, I'll get to pay my last respects to grandma.
Yeah.
So this was what was in the back of my mind. I was like, oh, Jalabi, if you look, October, I should be ready to leave, right? And I don't remember the look she had on her face, but now I understand the kind of look. Like, she's probably like, hold on. Like, let's thank God you are even alive and you're still breathing first. Let's see how this month goes. Let's get your wounds to start healing. Let's get your blood level up. Like, let's clear all these hurdles before you start thinking of leaving the hospital.
Yeah. What was the smell of your injuries like?
At some point, Charlie, they had varying smells because, you know, with the wounds comes infections. So I remember what it smells like, but I can't link it to anything. But one of the smells I remember, at this time I had been discharged and I was still going for wound dressing. I was being prepped for final surgery on one of the wounds. This was probably in December. So I'd gone there as an outpatient and they had this block. So I put my leg on it and they took the bandage off. And I smelled something like, this wasn't still COVID time, so we still had the nose mask on. And through the nose mask, I smelled something like somebody had passed gas. I was just thinking, but Charlie, who did this? Then it occurred to me, have you forgotten your wound is there?
Wow.
That was the smell of my wound.
Charlie.
And there was another guy. It was a big space, so like this place, and over there, the other guy was sitting there, and he also had wounds to be dressed. So for some weird reason, it didn't occur to me that
It was him, man.
I thought it was him. When I got past somebody passed gas, I thought, Charlie, but that guy too, his
I go feel like that.
thing is bad.
You say, Charlie.
And there's something, Masa, Ibio.
What's your own? Wow.
So that's what I could liken it to something. But it just smelled like rotten food and all kinds of the nastiest smells you could think of.
Did you see like a visible reaction from people who came to visit you?
No, for some reason, I didn't see that. The other thing as well, too, is that because this was during COVID, most people had nose masks.
Exactly.
I'm not one of the best people at reading people's faces to start with. So I have that deficiency. Then there's a nose mask.
Double.
So
You can't see what's going on.
you really can't see what's going on.
No.
And then over time as well, in the ICU, there are a limited number of people who are allowed to visit you. I would later find out that before the people entered, though, the nurses would prep you and say, hey, when you go there, this is how he looks. He's not the person you brought here. They told my neighbor that, Rita. She actually said when she entered, she went to the nurse and was like, oh, I think I'm in the wrong room. And I said, who are you looking for? I said, Pierre. I said, yeah, that's him.
She couldn't recognize you.
She said I had swollen, I had bloated. Like, my head is big, I know that. She said it was like 2-3 times this size. So I don't know if it looked like a watermelon then.
Sorry.
You know the big ones.
Yeah, man.
So everybody who visited me in the ICU had been prepped. Like, this is not the person you see. Do not let him see any sign of sorry, crying. If you get there and you feel like you want to cry, just come outside, come and do your cry and everything, but don't do it in front of him.
Did you see some people do that?
No.
Nobody broke down in front of you?
No.
Your mom, what was your mom's reaction?
My mom, when we spoke, she said, well, she's a retired physiotherapist, right? So she's seen this several times. But she was like, my mom is a bit of this thing.
Still the hard woman.
Not the hard woman, like I think she passed on that gene to me. And I don't care, I'll say she can come and do what she wants to. We're a bit, mentally we're not fully, like we can take certain, in the spur of the moment, we can handle things that most people will panic and freak out about.
So resilient.
Yeah. It's when it's gone through, then later, and I think I picked a bit of that from her. And then you would begin to relive. So she's like, last time I asked her, have you read the book? She's like, I'm now processing it. And when I'm able to, I read a few pages. That's what she told me. So at that moment, at that time, she's strong enough to go through. But it's after, and this is 6 years later. 6 years. This is when she's actually processing it. Yeah. Everything. So she didn't have any. And then again, she's professionally too. She's seen people in that stage. So she knows how to. I'm going to somebody who has just gone through a surgery to start physiotherapy with that person. He or she's in a bad state, could be dying, but I've learned professionally, I've been trained, I've had years of experience to go and do the physiotherapy, administer what I need to administer without showing emotion.
Is she the one who did the physiotherapy with you?
No, not there.
Okay.
But most of the people who did had been trained by
her.
So that's also a different story. That's also a different painful, agonizing story.
Transfusions. You had not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7, a dozen.
A dozen, yeah.
Why?
So as was explained to me, burns apparently has effect on the bone marrow, targets the bone marrow. To start with, it puts the whole body in a state of shock. And in that state of shock, it could damage a lot of organs and systems in the body internally. So when somebody gets burned, the wounds you see they are significant, but they are not the most dangerous things you should worry about. There are internal organs that could be affected. So what was explained to me that it affects the production system of the red blood cells. I'm mixing them up, either red or white. Forgive me. And sometimes now, so it affects the bone marrow and sometimes goes to affect these ones. And this now drops your blood hemoglobin levels. So this was why I started needing blood transfusion. So on the first surgery I did, that was emergency, so the intubation. So, and even with that, I think based on who you talk to, it may be classified as a surgery, it may not be. But that was done. The first surgery that had to be done was the first skin graft when I was in the ICU. So as part of their protocol, the vital statistics they need to check, HB, the blood pressure. And then in part of their routine tests, they found out that my blood hemoglobin was significantly low. So that meant you need to transfuse blood, right? So they did all the tests, everything, got the sample, grouping and cross-matching, all the fancy checks they need to do. It was in the evening that they started transfusing. The first, I think this was maybe 2 pints, 2 units. And then when they started, I remember telling the nurse, I was like, my back is a bit itchy. At that time, I couldn't move my hand to scratch it. So she was like, oh, okay, which part? Is it here? I'm like, yeah. She scratched it for me. Like, okay, cool. Blood is still going. Like a few seconds, I'm like, yeah, the same place is still itching. And she's experienced. So putting 2 and 2 together, we're transfusing blood. He's itching. All right, can you turn on the light? Then she noticed there was rashes developing, reaction to the blood. Yeah.
Oh.
So then they
stopped the transfusion.
They stopped it, and then they had discussions, decided what to administer, and did it and handled it. So that was the first blood transfusion.
Who found the blood for you?
Who found it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think it was my mother and my auntie. My auntie was also there with her, and my cousins. They were the ones doing the legwork. I mean, they were my auntie. She had a pharmacy close to Kolebu. For 2 weeks, she was just like, that was her working place. One of my cousins, he also, for him as well, for like the first 2 weeks at least, 2 to 3 weeks in the ICU, that was their working place. They would wake up, drive there, and just sit there, because there's always this drug that needs to be purchased. There's this that needs to be done. There's that needs to be done. There were routine tests that had to be done every single day.
Was this all on national health insurance?
So I didn't have national health insurance, but my company had a health insurance system, Premier. But for some reason, when the first day I got there, Kolebu didn't have an agreement with them, with Premier Health Insurance. So that was going to become a challenge. The next day, my auntie stepped in and she said, okay, I'm putting my business on the line, just do it. What agreement can we have? I'll put my business there as surety.
That's it.
And so then they accepted.
Meaning what? They were not going to treat you if she hadn't said that?
Yeah, well, they were like, hey, we need national health insurance, or you need to be paying.
Wow.
Because Benz is costly as well, Because every day, I think blood test there was one they call it, is it ABG, arterial blood gases or something. Like, that's a test they need to do every day.
Every day?
Every day.
For the 100 and something days that you were there?
No. For whilst I was in the ICU, whilst it was
okay.
critical, during the critical moments. Or because that could change any moment. There were days they had to even do it twice. Sometimes they had to take blood samples too. There's this lab, is it Med Lab at Kolebu? And sometimes the Kolebu has closed, so they'll take it to East Legon. So yeah, they knew, these people, they knew them. Like, so I think it was between my mother and my auntie and my cousin, one of them had to go and do the blood thing. I don't know who went to donate to fill that. I have no clue.
I don't even want to think about how much was spent to do all these rounds, man.
Yeah. I have, it's all to keep this one guy alive.
Yeah, that's it. So 4 surgeries.
Yeah.
What were the surgeries for specifically?
So the first one was, what do you call it? The first skin graft, which was on the back of my legs.
That was not burned.
No, they had to put skin at the back of my legs. My leg was totally bent. That didn't have any skin on it. They had to peel everything.
They had to peel the skin off your leg?
Well, the rest,
Yes.
because that was damaged.
Yeah.
So my leg was like raw flesh.
So where did they get the
Yeah, that was, so they cut the,
here wasn't burnt.
no, my thighs wasn't bent
Okay.
because I was in a pair of shorts. So it's the exposed parts.
where the cloth, where the material was
Yes.
safe.
So that's why it's from till here
Yeah.
was covered,
Yeah.
pair of shorts.
Yeah.
And that's why, and then this place was my face. But the face wasn't so deep. So the face healed on its own. So I didn't have to do surgery there.
Have you ever thought about if you had been walking around the house naked, what the implications would have been?
I haven't thought about that, but you know, I stopped that thing a very long time. I don't know when I stopped, you know, like that thing where guys walk around in their boxers.
Yeah, because if you are home, you're alone, there's the likelihood of that is
But for some,
quite high.
for some reason, I don't know when I stopped, but I, like, if you see me walking at home with just my boxers, it means I'm about to enter the shower. And maybe I just stepped out to pick something, or I've just finished taking my shower and I'm putting on my dress and I'm dressing up, and that's the first thing. But I don't know, that thing of walking bare-chested and naked.
It's not even new.
I used to do that in secondary school.
You grew out of it.
And I think a bit of university, but somewhere along the line, I just...
Which is good because you got flesh to do the graft.
Yeah.
So the first one was they took your thigh, flesh.
Put it at the back.
Put it at the back on your tips.
Both legs.
Both sides.
Yeah, both.
Okay.
Both legs.
Uh-huh.
And then that was the first one. The second one, so that is, if you are counting the intubation as surgery, that would have been the first one. And then the cleaning the wounds, that was first. So the second was the first skin graft. The next one.
Which doctor was in charge of this one?
So the first one was done by an anesthetist, and they would do the intubation. I don't know who that person was. And the cleaning of the wounds would have been done by the team that was on emergency call, because I still remember this, their surgery schedules is Mondays, Wednesdays, and Friday.
You were there long enough, man.
At some point, I felt like a staff.
You knew their routines.
So Monday is Mr. Painter and his team. He's the consultant. Tuesday is the day they clean the theater. And so if you see anyone being, with surgery being done on Tuesday, then it's emergency, like my case. Wednesday, you have Mr. Ampuma and his team. And on...
the former CEO of Kolibu.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then on Friday, you have Mr. Lane, who you know very well.
Yes.
So I know the schedule.
Yeah.
So Tuesday, but I think I belong to Ampuma's team. So my surgeries were now done on Wednesdays. And I know on the first surgery, he was in theater. And so he was the consultant, and the specialist was Dr. Boham.
Okay.
And then they had the residents, senior residents with them.
So first skin graft.
Here.
Second
on
one.
both legs. Second one was the arms. So this is what you see here.
And they still took, your thigh was still the supplier.
So what they did first was they took the top part of the thigh. The top, like here.
Yeah.
And they call it SSS. I think there's I've forgotten, single split or something. Or some of them can type in the comments later.
They will.
The doctors can do it. But then basically when they take it off, they have a way of stretching it.
Stretch the skin.
Stretching.
Okay.
To maximize the surface area they can use on it. So that's why you see this thing like nets here.
Yeah.
Because that's the stretch.
They stretch the skin.
Yeah. So the first one they took from here, stretch, put it here, clip it together.
Clip.
Yeah.
With what kind of clips are these?
Mechanical grade steel, but it's like your staplers, the one you put in your books, what you have on there.
Okay. And so after a while, they take it out?
Yeah, they take it out,
So you're walking around with, you are lying down with clips?
Clips, yeah. It's mechanical grade steel.
Okay.
But just like the staple you put on your papers. Taking it out is a different story. So the first one, they took, part of it. And then the second one, so now I went in with 39%. Because I didn't have blood and my nutrients, and these also now started taking their sweet long time to get healed.
Yeah.
So now on top of 39%, I had wounds here. The second one was down on the arms, and then they also went for the other part of the thigh, which they didn't take initially. So that was also put on both arms as well.
Did they explain to you how they're able to, so how do they, so they take the skin off. How do they graft it onto your body?
My basic one I understand is, there was the last surgery, I wasn't on a full anesthesia. I wanted to see, but they didn't allow me to, because then I could have answered this question properly. So blame, what's his name, Dr. Dako. He's the one who did But as far as I know, they mark out where it needs to go. I think they do some kind of wound cleaning to clean the area. Then they would cut. They have machines they use, shave the skin off, stretch it, put it on, staple it.
How resilient is the graft? Do you sometimes fear that it may fall apart?
So they have a no right now.
Mm.
Oh no, right now it's done. It's done and dusted. Right now it's part and parcel of me.
Was
Right
there a
now,
critical stage when they did the graft that things could
Yeah.
have gone wrong?
yeah. So there's a standard procedure they have where for the first 5 days you don't move that part of the body.
You don't move it.
Yeah.
How do they immobilize it?
So when I did my first one, I was already in the ICU. I couldn't even move my sorry legs for anything. So there was no risk of me moving. So they just left it, just bandaged it, and that was it. But when my arms were done, they put them in POP.
Mm.
So it was in a position like this to even restrict or reduce me even moving it to disturb the take.
So you're lying down?
Yeah.
So that was your position all the time?
Well, I could get up and move,
Uh-huh.
but the arms were just like this.
Like that?
So that was when I needed someone to hold my thing
Yeah,
for me to
yeah,
urinate,
yeah.
my water hose for me.
Yes. For the gardening.
Yeah, to water the plants and keep the lawn green and fresh. So
Wow.
so this was the second.
Mhm.
Then one was done here, which was a third surgery, second skin graft. The last one this was all done in 2020.
Mhm.
I think the first one was in September. Second one was in November 2020. The last one was in March 2022. This was because I had been discharged and all the wounds were healing. But now there was some stubborn area which wasn't healing on my legs, just around the
The ankle area?
ankle area on the back. Yeah,
Oh.
it wasn't healing. So, and the risk is you keep dressing, infection. Is it going to heal? Are you going to be patient? And this is my legs, man. I don't want to be messing with them. So at some point I agreed, okay, let's do the skin graft. So I had to be readmitted to the hospital in March 2022. And that was when I did the final. So at this time,
Your skin,
they had healed.
the tie no exhaust.
No, at that time they had healed. So it's like, it's like you cut, you wait for the land to follow.
Yeah.
And then you go back
It's
and
like a hair. Your hair, cut it grows again. Then
Yeah.
you can use.
I can help people with transplants, I'm not mentioning names, but I'm just saying.
So they went for your thigh again.
They went that for the thigh again. Yeah.
How about your face though? Because your face was fair.
No graft was done.
No graft was done to your face. The melanin just came back.
Yeah. So I used to put on paraffin.
Paraffin.
Paraffin oil.
Okay.
Oil, yeah.
Mhm.
Which is gotten from oil and gas.
Yes.
So
Yeah. Your field now.
I had to do my work well.
Exactly. So you put that on your face.
Yeah. And Vaseline.
Vaseline, yes, because it's
Petroleum
also the
jelly.
same thing. Yes, petroleum jelly, correct.
So there are people crying about climate.
This is it. And the how long did it take for the color to return?
I think it took phases, but over the years it's really improved. I think so. When I got home, you see a few patches of it getting dark, and then sometimes the skin itself will shed off. Even these days, I have a few where the skin sheds off. It's not as much as it used to be. And then in 2021, getting to the end, you could see it getting dark a bit. 2022. So now what started happening at first in 2021, people were asking me if I had dyed my hair. The reason being that my face was Afro face, right? But then I think I had hair on my skin then. So the scalp itself didn't get burnt. So that is dark. So you look at the face and it's
fair.
It's fair. The skin itself is dark on the scalp, and the hair is also dark, and my hair is really black. So they see good black hair on black head, and they think, hey, do you dye your hair?
Bleach.
Yeah.
What happened to your hair when you had the whoosh and the fire came at you?
I have no clue.
But your hair, was it burned?
No, it wasn't
It
bad.
didn't burn.
In fact, in the hospital, I had a fro. And I grew my beard longer than yours. I mean, normally I'm clean shaven.
Yeah.
I just can't stand it being there for long.
Yeah.
But in the hospital, I had
Only so kind of beard.
yeah, well, I didn't get to Willie Soyinka, but the afro was there.
For real?
But the beard was so thick, I had to use afro comb to comb it.
Wow.
Yeah.
What was your lowest moment in the hospital?
Lowest moment. I think I had many of them, but some of the lowest moments was when I struggled to put food in my own mouth. On was one time I you know, like just the motion of hand is here, putting it in there. I just couldn't do it. And this wasn't even with my hand. This was with a spoon. And the spoons had to be long because there was a limit to how far my hand could go. So just taking it, and this was a regular thing that was happening. I knew I was struggling to do it. But one day I think I almost cried. I was like, for crying out loud, I can't even eat. And so those days sometimes when I was going to eat, you know, I say normal people because we burnt patients were special. Normal people pray and say, God, we thank you for the food. Some say, well, thank you for the farmer, the cooker, and the eater. My prayer was like, God, I thank you for the food, but help me to eat it.
Eat the food.
To put it in my mouth.
Exactly.
And goodness me, some of the food was good. Like, Charlie, you could see whichever food you could think of. Charlie, like banku and okro.
Solid one.
Charlie, fried yam and grilled chicken.
For the hospital inside.
Charlie, my cousin was bringing it. Charlie, kinky and Charlie some pakushito. And I couldn't put it in my...
it, man.
Hey.
And meanwhile, you smell them nice.
Oh, yeah, they be.
Your nose hairs had come back.
Oh, yeah. Oh, well, I didn't care about the nose hair. I could smell the food. That was all that. That was all that was. And, you know, sometimes they'll bring this thing, fufu and goat light soup.
You know, feature chopper.
You know, so those were one of my moments that,
Yeah.
Charlie, food. And then there were times when I would make so much progress in being able to eat on my own. And then I'll go for wound dressing and one day, and then it's all like, all the work I had done had retrogressed, and I was like back at square one again.
Frustrating.
Yeah, it was more than frustrating. I was like, Charlie, this is how it's going to be. I had to learn how to stand up.
Really?
Yeah. So the first few weeks in ICU, you know, I was laying down throughout. Then the physiotherapist came. Then I had to learn how to. So assume I'm lying down, how to just get up and sit like this on the bed with my legs still up this way.
Your legs are suspended?
No, on the bed.
On the bed. Okay.
Yeah, so this was just me not even sitting down, my legs hanging. This is, imagine me lying down flat. And I'm just raising my torso to just sit up. That's it. Exercise. That was physio for some time. The progress was getting your legs to the side. Like when you wake up. Yes. Like when normal people wake up, you need to move your legs to the side. These were projects for me. These were billion-dollar projects for me. Man. I had to plan.
RFQ.
I had to do everything. All the kinds of, you know. And so, and I remember there was one in the ICU. This was one of the lowest moments where, so one physiotherapist had come, we'd gradually gotten to the point where I could get up, I could sit by the side of put my legs down. It was great. It was good, Charlie. Solid. So the next physiotherapist came. The next day, they had this shift in schedule. I was like, Charlie, hang on. Like, I've learned how to do this. I should just sit back and enjoy the show.
So.
I got my torso off. I turned my legs this way. And I would learn. All of a sudden, I felt some pain, like, you know, like imagine ants all over your legs and all of them biting you at the same time.
Wow.
I was like, oh no, what's going on? I cried that day. Apparently, you know, I'm lying down, so I get there and there's a sudden rush of blood into the system, and that sudden rush of blood caused that pain. So that was also one of my lowest moments. But Charlie, this is like a simple
movement, man.
This is what I'm getting out of bed. I'm not even thinking. I'm thinking of I'm not even thinking of what I'm doing.
No.
You know, I get up and I'm Charlie, like time no day. Like we get things to do.
It be so.
Like I don't even think of, but this small thing I'm doing. And then I remember the first day I had to stand up. That was also a low moment. I stood up, like it was a struggle, just standing up. And this is not me standing up alone. Standing up with people holding me. Like the physiotherapist had to come with assistance, and I think there was some nurses around as well. Because I could fall any day.
And you did shake?
Charlie, we just stand there and I started to see blood for the bandage inside. He's in hard cut.
What was happening?
I think that was bleeding somewhere.
Wow.
Because again, you are standing, so the blood flow dynamics is now different.
Wow.
And
This is just, it's incredible.
So these were low moments. I think that I collapsed about 3 times and stuff like that.
You collapsed?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, the first time was in the ICU. I was getting better. At this time, they were planning on discharging me to the main ward. So you remember you asked about number 2, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, at least now I had this bottle where when I wanted to water the garden, I'll hold it myself and put the. But number 2, they were like, okay, we won't do the bedpan again.
Mm-hmm.
To help you recuperate, you need to get up and go to the washroom yourself. People will help you. So I would get up, we'll go there. And so it was one of those times I'd gotten up, I'd finished my business, they cleaned me up. I was getting up. What I know was I was getting up.
Mm-hmm.
Before I realized that they put me down. I was like, Charlie guys, I'm trying to get up. Why are you people putting me on the back on the seat? And then I realized I had blacked out whilst I was trying to get up. So they were trying to stabilize me
Exactly.
by
Putting you down.
by putting me down. And then again, that memory loss.
Yeah.
So you're like, I'm supposed to be getting up. Why are you people putting me down?
I think it's a good thing God gave us these memory lapses to just protect us, because some of the stuff would be just too shocking.
Yeah. There was also another day which was also a setback. I had at this time I was in the main ward, and I used to walk around the hospital around 4 a.m. Because walking, they advise you to walk. It helps.
But then you could walk.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I always needed someone to be with me.
Yes.
I needed a Zimmer frame.
How many people in the main ward?
At this time, I'd moved to a side ward, so it was just me.
Okay.
And so there was a nurse helping me. And the reason I was doing it around 4 a.m. was there were far fewer people around. You could go around without getting in people's way. And during the daytime, maybe I have a vista as well. So it's good. So I would walk to a point and I had to sit down because you don't walk that far giddy like that. You could do like here to the door and back, and I had to sit down.
Wow.
Yeah. No, these were, because the blood too wasn't that plenty.
They can start move go places where if you no go.
So I'd gone there and he was just looking for a chair for me to sit down. And I remember feeling tired. So I thought, let me lean against the wall. That's what I remember. The next time I saw myself flat on the floor. Like when you go and write some exam, like you're writing SSC, you write the very last paper and you go and you lie on the bed. I'm done.
We're done.
I was on the floor, flat.
Collapsed again.
So they came, called some other nurses, they put me in a wheelchair. I went to lie in the bed. That was the end of the work for that day. So yeah, these were low moments, yeah.
Can you remember the first time you saw your face after a long time?
I actually don't remember. I think someone took a picture and showed it to me. But by then, so I saw that, hey, Charlie, my face peel. But I think at that time I wasn't so, I didn't panic because before I saw my face, after I'd been discharged from the ICU, when I was discharged, there was a little boy there. He was 3 years old. He had a burn. Parents thought, it's just a minor burn, blah, blah, blah. Started having kidney problems. You remember the shock affected the kidney. They started realizing there were issues, brought him to the hospital. It was too late. The guy passed on, 3-year-old boy. I remember his name. So I came to the main ward. I was now in the side ward. And one morning I found out another person had died. Then it occurred to me that, wait, since I've been discharged from the ICU, about 6 out of 7 people who had been admitted there had all passed on. It was then that it dawned on me that, it's not normal to really get out of the ICU alive. Everybody gets out, but the normal thing is you get out and go to the mortuary, not get out and go to another ward or even go home. So then, when I was lying in bed with my hands in POP, needing help to water the garden, I said, God, I thank you for that I'm still alive. Forgive me for all my complaints.
Yeah.
So I think at the first time I saw my face, I had already come to this realization. So at this point, I was just grateful I'm alive.
Yeah.
No complaints. I don't ask for much. I'm just alive. I can breathe on my own. So the first time I saw my face, it didn't really shock me. It was one time that I went for wound dressing and they took the bandages off. I was like, wait, is this my hand? Because I had lost so much weight. My hand was like half the size.
How heavy were you before the accident?
I think before the accident, I was probably maybe 80 kilos or something. Because before the accident, I was doing some fasting, so I lost some weight. So I think I was just probably around 80.
And then your lowest weight during your time?
I think it was around 70 something, 74.
A lot of weight loss.
Yeah. So I looked at my hand. There was one time they took the bandages off in the dressing room. I was like, wait. So when I came home, I remember my mom and my cousin I was like, Charlie, my hand makes small.
Mm.
And I think they realized why. Like, oh, no, it will be fine. It's just your eyes. You haven't seen it in a long time. You just said some weird thing like that.
Brush them off.
But I knew when I was in, I was like, hey, Charlie, no, this is not my hands.
Yeah. I think it was just dawning on you what you had been through.
Yeah.
What's it like living with scars, visible scars?
These days, I don't care. I'm grateful I'm alive. Like,
Did you care back then?
the only time I was concerned was the time I said I had gotten out of my building and I was waiting for Rita to come and open her gate. That was when it dawned on me. I was like, hey, how's my face going to look like? Is my face going to look like the lady I remember's face? But I think getting out, I didn't really think too much about how the scars were going to look like. It was more like, Charlie, let me just get out and live my life.
Do people stare when they see your hands?
Yeah, people do. Actually, recently I was working with a friend of mine. She may be watching this if she gets to watch it. She knows herself. And she was asking me, so based on where I am, I'm going to work. Everybody at work knows what I've had. They've seen this several times. I don't care. I just leave it like this. But sometimes, based on where I am, I would wear a tight t-shirt. You know the things that the footballers wear under their...
It's kind of long like that.
Yeah. And I'll wear it. And I was working with a friend of mine and she was like, well, I think she asked me why I was wearing it. I was like, yeah, I've seen the effect it has on children. I saw one child saw me here somewhere at Maxmat. At that time I was in a compression sleeve. This guy was maybe 9, 10. He saw me, the look on his face. I was like, oh, gee, I've scarred this boy's life. So I told her, sometimes children look at me in a certain way. And for me, I don't care. I'm grateful I'm alive. Where I was and where I am now, I just thank God I'm alive. But it's for the children's sake.
How about the adults? Would adults behave badly sometimes?
Yeah, yeah, adults sometimes. There was one time I was working, this was in 2022. I was working from home. Around midday, I stepped out to go to a supermarket around my area to buy something. So I'm in the supermarket, I'm just waiting. There's a queue at the where you pay. And I was just waiting for it to be my turn. And this lady was like, oh, bruh, sorry. So I was confused, like, I'm telling you sorry. He said, your hands. I was like, oh, okay. But what that made me feel, and when I had certain people do that, I felt like the people literally drew me back from my journey.
Yeah.
Pulled me back. It's like you're running a race and you are close to the finish line and literally the person drags you back.
Yank you back.
To the starting line. I'm like, it's gone. I'm done. I'm past this stage. But then another friend of mine explained it to me that, Charlie, people see it and they are shocked. So part of their supposed feeling sorry for you is their own shock that they are trying to deal with.
Yeah.
I remember even for adults, there was one time after I'd been discharged, I was going to my cousin's place to pick my car. And I had bandages here up to this point, but this part of the leg was exposed. And when you look at the front, it's also like, Charlie, it's also Caucasian. Like pure. And a lady was passing by. So I was waiting at the gate. I pressed the bell and I was waiting for my cousin to come out. A lady was passing by. What is this? Fire.
And you saw her reaction.
Yeah, you could see the reaction and you could see she was going crazy. So I explained to my friend, hey, I put this on more because of the children. I don't want to scar the children. Funny enough, after I'd said that, during that same day, we were working somewhere else. And one child saw me and I think looked at my hand. So I drew her attention. I was like, look at that child. It's like, yeah. I was like, yeah, that's why I wear that. So it's for people. For me, I've gotten used to it. I mean, this is me. I've had this like this for 5 years. So
for those who see the white parts of your skin, is that where the burn was most severe?
No, that's the part where the graft didn't take. Because the graft, when you put it on, you are still dressing the wound, right? Some of them come off.
Some of the grafts come off.
Yeah. Because the only thing that holds it together is a staple.
The staple.
Yeah.
The staples.
Yeah. And then when they take it out, because again, that's also foreign body. There's a limit to how long it would take. It would take. So there are still patches of wounds. So like these are patches of wounds. These are patches of wounds. So you're still undergoing wound dressing. And then some of them start coming off.
Are you still undergoing dressing?
No, I'm
You're
done.
done.
No, I'm done.
When were you done?
This was in June 2022.
Wow, it's almost 2 years from the accident.
Yeah.
Because August
Yeah.
2020 to June 2022.
Yeah.
What was that feeling like, the last one?
I could stand up and take a shower. I could stand up and bath. Because for a long time I had bandages on my legs, right? So that meant that when I wanted to bath, even though I'd moved back into my house and I was alone, at the bathroom, you see, so most bathrooms where you stand, there's a block
Yes.
there covered. So I'll put my legs on it. I'll be sitting on a chair.
Yeah.
I'll put some kind of cloth on my thighs so that when I pour the water on myself, it doesn't go into it. So the day when that bandage came off, and the nurse said, okay, let's leave it like that. You come here when you have to. I was like, I can stand and take a shower and actually pour the water on myself, and
Victory.
it would run from my head to my feet. This was in like June, July 2022.
2 years.
The last time I took a shower was 11th of August 2020, that morning, before that fatal day. The last time I stood up to pour water on myself.
Whoa, almost 2 years.
Yeah. The first time I wore a shoe, full shoe, I think it's 16th April. I remember I was going for a friend's wedding, 2022. Because my legs were inflamed for a long time. So after the last surgery, I looked at it. I was going for that engagement. And I looked at the leg and I thought, oh, Charlie's come down to normal. Let me put it in a shoe and see. I put it in a fit with some small bandage on it.
Yeah.
It's like, Charlie,
You could take her like
I
that.
can wear a shoe.
We take her like that.
Most times, Charlie, I'll wear some sandals, open the sandal to the maximum, the Velcro, open it to the biggest. This thing, I had to wear a baggy jeans because my legs had bandages.
Yeah.
Okay, I was able to wear my slim fit
And you're done.
jeans that I liked. And I wore Chelsea boots like yours.
It'd be so.
It's like, hey.
Progress.
So there's life like this.
It'd be so.
This is what I had. And I didn't know.
Do you wear shorts?
Yeah, when I'm at home, I wear.
Okay, yeah.
Again, for the same reason.
Exactly.
You go out and then sometimes you get tired of talking about it. So, like sometimes I go somewhere, I just want to get this income. And then people will come in, what happened? What? Recently, actually, you remember the story I told you about the surfer, the boat that gets you to another boat?
Yes.
So I'm in Senegal and I get on the boat and I'm joining the boat. And just like every travel thing, they have the list of people that need to come. So you go there and there's someone sitting there, you check your names.
Yep.
So I'm in the queue, it gets to my point and I'm checking my name. And the guy's like, what happened to your hand, sir? And I'm thinking to myself, like, there are 10 people behind me. Is this the right time?
It's the wrong time, man.
We'll both be in that ride for 6 hours.
You can ask me all those questions.
You can ask me those questions. So I wouldn't wear a pair of shorts outside because I don't want all those questions. I don't know how the UV, because mind you, I don't have the extra protective layers normal people have on their skin.
Yeah.
So I don't wear it outside, but when I'm inside, I wear shorts.
Who treats you better, women or men?
Ooh. Nobody has ever asked me this question before. You need to tell me the history of this question before I can answer.
Reacting to you, I mean, are women who just accept you for who you are? They don't ask intrusive questions. Who are more rude or just you can see that man, they are shocked and they can't control themselves.
Is that point you're asking me from? The shock, I think most of it has been women who have been shocked. But I've actually even had more kindness from the women as well.
Okay.
I don't know, maybe they see it as a badge of honor or something. I remember at my lunch, I was there and somebody came and the person hugged me. And one of my friends was like, hey, Charlie, we are Ugo Benson.
Oh, look this guy. Look this guy. we so cool person.
So when they bend you, they get hugged. Which Charlie, we all to Ugo. And then one of them came and said, oh, Charlie, me I go bend, but Charlie, man, just on small.
Look at you.
Because I know if you.
As if you choose your own. Skype, brother, man.
But one of my nephews told me, he said, oh, it looks, from afar, it looks like tattoo. And this guy is like 7 years.
Kiddies always they have a different way of thinking about things, yeah? Yeah. He's right, though. From afar, it looked like a tattoo.
And his younger brother came closer. What happened? And I explained it to him.
Yeah.
I said, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I think the kids are a bit more sensitive.
No, but some of them too are a bit. There was one I was at a public place, like I think Visa Application Center. I was just sitting there, and there was a small girl, maybe 3, 4,
Mhm.
and she came around me, you know, hello, and she saw my hand. She was like, "What is that?" Then she moved away.
What was it like coming home for the first time after a long time?
That was exciting.
Who brought you home?
It was 2 of my cousins and my mother. So they brought 2 cars, you know, because you go there, you start accumulating things. There's dressing items, there's this clothing, there's this bed sheet, there's this bucket. So it was Akua and my mother
Who was living in the house while you were in hospital?
in my house.
Yes.
Nobody. So when I got discharged, I went to my mom's place.
Okay.
Because I wasn't ready. I couldn't live on
No, by yourself.
myself. Yeah, so my house was empty.
Wow. What was it like going back to your house?
Well, there wasn't anything. I was like, oh, it's nice to be here. Because even before I moved from my mom's house to my place, my mom was like, Charlie, you need to go to your house. And see, she was thinking of the mental, psychological.
Yeah.
I think it was a discussion they'd had, you know, with my aunties and all that. So one of my cousins came pick me up. And we went, when I was like, you know, it's like you've traveled and you're back. Because remember, I used to work offshore on the rig, you know, 28 days away.
Yeah.
I travel here for 2 months. So it just felt like one of those,
But this is what, 2020 what, 2021?
yeah, this was 2021.
Yeah, yeah. Was the kitchen still looking like that?
So a friend of mine and my neighbor and the landlord had worked to fix it.
Okay.
So I didn't see much. You know, they'd done all. I could see that, one of the glasses, the glass window, apparently that had shattered. I didn't know anything about that.
None of it got into your body?
None that I remember.
Yeah.
When I was leaving the kitchen, I remember hearing a sound, which I think was the bulb exploding.
Mhm.
But that was all. But when I came back, they'd fixed it. I only just saw the tabletop stove, which was a bit damaged, and then the hose to the cylinder. Well, the cylinder was at the back of the house. So when I went back, I was just like, after you traveled, been away for a long time. Oh, Charlie, it's good to see. And it was just for a day.
Yeah.
And I went back to my mom's place. But the funny thing, when I went back to my mom's place, I had bandages on my legs. And this was one of the moments I remember because I'd done that trip, it felt like, you know, like when you go out, you're in your shoe and everything, you come back and you just want to take your
Yeah,
socks
exactly.
off.
Yeah.
I felt like, if only I could take this off
Relax.
for my legs to get some air. That was how it felt.
Yeah,
But I remember, I have wounds.
Do you still use gas?
No, not currently.
You don't use gas at all?
No.
So that's a big change really then, because electric, you use electric.
Yeah, I use electric.
Do you think you ever use gas again?
I think so, yeah. Yeah. Because actually what happened, so when I was living at my mom's place, she thought she was trying to help me. So she thought, oh, can you go and turn off the gas? And I could go and turn that off. But yeah, when I went, my thing was, my gas stove was damaged. The gas cylinder it was the only one I had. So I thought, Charlie, just buy electric. And
That's all. Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm yet to play with that thought and see if I can.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, I moved into an apartment. There was one time I traveled outside and I was going to stay out for long. I moved into an apartment. So when we're looking into the apartment, I went there, I was like, Charlie, this thing is gas. It's possible to put electric there.
That's all.
So we got the electric in there.
No problem. What was getting back to work like?
Getting back to work was like, I could feel useful again. I could do something. Now, going into work, I sort of eased into work gradually. So again, when I was at the ICU, I was like, one of the painful things was I was useless. All I could do was just lay there. So when I got discharged, 31st December 2020, got home.
Last day of the year.
Yeah.
Do you think about the impact, the significance of that? Like stepping into a new year.
Yeah, I've thought about it a few times. That was. But I think now that you're asking me that, I'm getting the full gravity. I was stepping into a new chapter.
Yeah, new year, new chapter.
Yeah, maybe it was significant.
Yeah,
because they were contemplating. Do you want to be at home for Christmas? And I was like, well, you are the doctor. What do you think? The the funny story was, I'll come back to the question. The funny story was, there was this taxi driver who used to take me to the hospital when I went to my mom's place. And one time he confessed, he was telling my mom that, Charlie, when I saw this guy, I was thinking, so the hospital people have cleared him that he's fit to come home. And this is how he's looking. Then how was he like when he was in the hospital?
What does he know?
But
This is taxi driver.
no, but you can't blame the guy because they're like, because he's like, okay, so this is supposed to be a better state
He should stick to his taxi driving.
of what the guy was. So, but I eased into work. So in the new year, my mother and aunties were like, Charlie, you know these things, Charlie, when you stay out of work for a long time, they'll come and say, Charlie, we should let the guy go. So if you can start getting into work. So my boss was already in touch with my mother and Rita and everybody. So they had a discussion and said, okay, we'll start getting you on a few calls. So I had my phone and every now and then I'll join a Teams call.
Yeah. Work from home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then gradually into the year, then I started, okay, I would go to my place and stay there a bit. This was the latter part of the year.
Mhm.
So I got to the point where sometimes I'll go there, spend 2 days there. Then I'll come to my mom's place, go for wound dressing. And so it was actually a transition.
Yeah.
But
One.
yeah, but it was exciting to be useful again. And I remember the first, it was a budgetary request.
Mhm.
So a budgetary request is just like your ITT, but what they need the figures for is just to have a sense of what it will cost the company to do what they're asking you to do. So it's not too critical. The first day I did it, I was like, it's great to be back.
Yeah, man. Muscle memory.
And I remember my boss talking, was like, it's good to be back on the saddle, right? And I'm like, yes. So it was excitement that I can do what I used to do again.
Yeah.
But it's all in stages. Like the first time I swam again, I was like, I can swim again. And basically, I've done everything I used to do before. Well, the only thing I haven't done is skiing. I did a bit of skiing in Norway sometime.
Okay.
But,
Yeah.
so that's the only thing. But basically, every other thing that I could do before the accident,
You're back.
I'm back.
Some rapid fire questions here before we wrap it up. How have you changed after the fire?
Mentality. I focus more on being grateful for what I have than what I don't have. Like I said, I can't urinate on my own. I can't do number 2 on my own. I hear 6 out of 7 people have died. I become grateful. I'm like, Charlie, I don't settle for less, but I'm not going to cry about what I don't have. I'll be grateful for what I have. So, yeah, my skin doesn't look, but I can do everything. I can push up. I can do bench press. I can.
And I see your arms, man. You did a good gym.
If we all come here, I'll go do past you. You go do like then.
Me, I go do 10. I go give up.
You know, so my skin doesn't look the way
it
looks, but
you're strong.
But I've learned to be more grateful, to think more of what I have, and be grateful for it, than what I don't have. I've also learned, I have a hurdle race mentality.
Mhm.
The hurdle race versus the 100-meter dash. The hurdle racer expects hurdles there. And when he sees them, he skips over them. The 100-meter guy expects it to be a straight, smooth run. But that is not life.
No.
So when the 100-meter guy sees a hurdle, he might be like, yo, Charlie, what's happening? Should I go back and start the race again? When the hurdle meter guy sees, he just jumps over it. So when I see obstacles, I don't see them as stop signs. I see them as hurdles I just need to jump over. And I live life expecting them, Charlie. Obstacles everywhere. Like that is life.
Maybe so. What matters now? What no longer matters?
What matters now is purpose. What no longer matters is rejection, things I can't control. Things I can't control, Charlie. I've done my part. It's like an unspoken deal me and God have. I do my part, he does his part. That's where life ends. When I do my part, there's left with him to do his part. The same with human beings. I don't force partnerships, business, work. I need to work with this person. Hey, I do my part. I'll try. If you don't want to do your part, hey, no. That's it.
What does faith mean to you after this experience?
Faith. God really exists. God, there's truly no depth too deep for God to reach. No situation so hopeless that he cannot turn it around. Like God really runs the world. God runs the show. God knows. There is a being that knows everything. There was one time, I don't know if it was anesthesia. Sorry, I know you said it's rapid fire, but I just need to explain it.
Yeah, please.
I don't know if it was anesthesia working or not, but the wounds were being done. I was sort of under some anesthesia, and I could see a hand taking me around. Would go to a mountainous place, which looked like some of the mountains you see in certain movies like Game of Thrones. I've been to a few places of these in certain countries myself. The next thing we were, at the same moment, we were under a traffic light. I could see a car parked there, just in the traffic, just waiting. I could see things, and it just occurred to me, there is a being who sees everything at the same time. Like you and I are just sitting here.
Mhm.
All we see is,
What is here?
everybody here sees just what is
Limited,
here.
yeah.
That's it. I bet you can just think of, my wife said I should do this. Oh, my children, my boy, this guy. That's all. But there is a being who is seeing everything at the same time and knows all the details at the same time. He's telling what you are thinking, what I'm thinking, what everybody else is thinking, just in this room, the whole building,
The whole world.
the whole of Accra, the whole world, the galaxies, and everywhere any other person is. And there was, so yeah, God is real. I actually remember that one of the prayers I used to pray before I had the accident was, I was like, God, like, I think I know you, but I want to have some relationship, some stamp that I can see that I know this is God. And then I had the accident. So maybe this was God giving me that stamp.
Talking about relationships, how have they changed after this accident? Family, friends, colleagues?
Well, I learned to value my friendships. I don't play with friends. I respect them and I help them every bit I can. Like I'd go out to help people. I was actually having this chat with another friend recently. I said, Charlie, somebody put her business on the line because of me.
Yeah.
So if I see someone going through this, I would help them. And I value people that, and that's the reason why one thing that has changed about me is that I also don't force people into my life or force to be in their lives. Because I think God gives us opportunity for everybody to come into our lives and for us to be in people's lives. And for me, everybody that pulled me through, I mean, you've read the book, everybody that pulled me through had to be at that specific place at that time. It's like, it's much more than a football match. You watch, I don't mean to inflict painful memories. I know Ghana is out, but
No, they pay me too much.
they pay you.
No.
I will tell you the why it paid me. The Norway game paid me pass.
Norway versus
England.
yes.
That pass
That one to pay me.
that player should have.
You should have given it to Holland.
So
You forgive it.
but everybody had to be at the right place at the right time. And it's not to be opportunistic, but it made me realize that everybody in my life is not there for the fun of it. And everybody in whose life I find myself in is also not for the fun of it. There is a reason why. So it's both ways. And
You mentioned your book. I wish you had a copy here. Is it in the car?
it's my car.
Yeah, I think Joseph will go and bring it.
He did the back seat.
Yes.
You have the key. I give you the key.
Yes, you pick it up.
It's in the back seat.
I want to know why you wrote The Stench of Good News.
Stench of good news. There's a verse in the Bible called Matthew. There are two reasons. There's Matthew 5, verse 19 to 20. Jesus had driven out demons from one guy. And Jesus got into a boat and the guy wanted to follow Jesus. And Jesus was like, no, don't come. Just go to your own family. Tell them what the Lord has done for you and how much he's had mercy on you. I'm paraphrasing, verse 20 says here, he went and told people and everybody was amazed at what Jesus had done. So I realized that what God had done for me was immense. Like, I'm basically a miracle. One of the doctors told me point blank, he said, you cheated death. One of my friends who visited me, she's an ophthalmologist after I'd had the accident. And I was narrating everything. And because she's an ophthalmologist, she knows the implications of everything I said. When she was like, I can't believe you're still alive. Because with all the procedures in the ICU, with her knowing, like, when this procedure is being done, this is the state the person is in. This is what warrants this kind of procedure. Knowing the implications of, she was like, I can't believe you're still alive. I had the burns, which is 39%, which is life-threatening. I had inhalational injury, which on its own, it's affecting my breathing. I won't breathe. Then there's COVID-19, which healthy people
We're succumbing to.
were already going down to.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still here, and I'm not just here, but if I wear a long sleeve shirt and I sit here, you wouldn't. If I roll this sleeve now, you wouldn't think of. In fact, in 2022, I went to the UK office. I was sitting in the office long sleeve. Somebody looked at me and thought I had a skin pigmentation issue.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought, so that verse rang a bell. Go and tell people what I've done, and a book is one of the ways. I mean, then I get to have this discussion with you, various other channels. The book would go to places I may not be able to go to.
Indeed.
Speak to people I may not be able to meet. And today, if I drop dead, the book is
still speaking for you.
People would be inspired. So it's to
tell. This is you?
Yeah. For clarity, this is for my friend, my neurosurgeon friend who accused me. This is not how people are bandaged in the hospital.
Okay.
But we did this for the purpose of the book.
Exactly.
The stench.
Yeah.
So that's why it's just the
nose. Exactly. So yeah.
My neurosurgeon friend had this long discussion with me. So when he watches, he will know this is for you.
Thank you very much. Yes. It's the stench of good news. It's for artistic purposes.
It's for artistic purposes. Yes.
Which chapter was the hardest to write?
I wouldn't say there was a chapter that was hardest to write, but there were parts when I remembered how it felt like. And one of them, there are two main parts. One of them was the pain in wound dressing.
Describe that pain.
I can't describe it. Okay, just imagine, you know the way we peel oranges?
Mm-hmm.
Just somebody puts a knife to your skin and is peeling your skin that way. No, not they are pulling the skin. Just remember, you know when we're children, you get hurt a bit and you're trying to
remove the scars.
Remove the scars.
Yes,
for some weird reason
scabs,
we do that.
Yes, also, yeah, it's true.
And then when you're removing it, it gets attached to skin.
Yes.
And then you see red.
And then you see red.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So imagine that just being pulled all the way down. So
do they do it gently?
Oh yeah, they do it gently as far as they
But you feel it.
And especially the first few days, because the whole skin had gone off. This was full thickness. The only way to heal it was the skin graft. So the gauze that they put on, because you have exudate coming out from the skin as well. They use Vaseline gauze, which is supposed to be slimy and not stick. But you have exudate coming out as well.
What is exudate?
The fluid? Body fluids.
Okay.
It sticks to it.
Yeah.
So when they come to change the wound dressing, and it's not to blame the nurses. They do their best because they prepare warm water. They try and soak it in it, pour it around it so that it starts getting off. But Charlie still. And then some of the ones I remember, which I'm vividly remembering it as was maybe it gets off, and there's some small part attached here, and it's hanging.
The last killer.
And the weight of the rest of the thing is hanging.
Charlie.
There was one time I was doing wound dressing, and the doctor came and said, Charlie, because of the pains, he's had some small concoction for me to numb it. So there's one that will numb the pain, and there's one that will put me in a semi-dazed state. So they gave me both injections. I could feel myself in a semi-dazed state. My talk was becoming like my tongue was too big for my mouth. And the guy started taking off. Charlie, he took one layer off and it wore off the entire days. It just brought me back to full consciousness.
You screamed?
I don't know if I screamed, but I know I was fully conscious.
Charlie,
when that layer went off.
You go feel up.
So that part was a part where I could literally live. The other part was when they are taking the clips off. Remember, the clips are paper clips, mechanical steel grade, mechanical grade steel. At the time they are putting it in, you're under anesthesia. For my first 3 surgeries, I was under general anesthesia. So you don't feel anything. You wake up and they're in there and life goes. But when you're pulling it out, you are wide awake.
Why don't they put you back in under anesthesia to remove these clips, man?
The general anesthesia too is dangerous. That's the type that, when you hear people, they say, oh, he went for a routine surgery and didn't wake up.
Come back.
That's general anesthesia.
And you did 3 of those.
Yeah. So that's the one. So yeah, you do it when you have to do it.
Yeah. Don't text
Even the one I did, which was just spinal, which was for my legs, it still has a risk. It's apparently it's a specific place in the spinal cord, a specific hole, and the injection, the needle has to go to that specific hole and release the fluid in there. If they miss the hole, Charlie,
they're done.
So anesthesia is something
don't joke with it.
And if they could, there's something I think they call it. This is a layman's language. This local anesthesia.
Yeah.
What they do is, this is the place they want to numb. So they'll put an injection here. The place will swell up. It will numb that place. And this is me. The skin now, I don't have it. So why are they going to put the injection? So yeah, pulling out those staples.
Yeah.
When they grip it like this.
Crazy.
And when it's lodged in a bad way.
Yeah.
What that means, they have to grip and turn it like
they
this.
move.
And if the person too is not too conversant with it, if the person is a very skilled person, one touch he grips the part, good place, is out. If the person too not really trying to grip here, trying to.
You guinea pig.
Yeah. So those were the 2 times that they weren't the hardest, but I could literally, I think there was one of the statements that I made in the book that I could literally remember this. But now that I'm speaking, I remember the one with the gauze hanging here. The wet one.
Charlie. What do you hope readers will take away from the stench of good news?
I hope they take away the fact that, truly there's no depth too deep for God to reach. There's no situation that is so hopeless that he cannot turn me around, that he cannot turn around. I mean, God brought me out of this, and there's no adversity that people can go through that God cannot get them out of. And adversity, I mean, any kind of adversity you could think of: loss of a loved one, divorce, loss of a child, loss of a business, loss of a home. I mean, in Ghana, people have lost. There is no situation that God cannot get them out of. I heard of somebody whose 6-bedroom house was fully flooded. But yeah, whatever adversity you think, whatever low area in life you think you are in, God can. If the God that took me through that.
Do you see patterns in people who are going through the different kinds of adversity that you listed?
Yeah.
Because you talk to a lot of them.
Yeah, I see patterns. So there's a first time when you hear it. There's the denial. Well, there's a denial part. And then there's the denial part. And then there's the acceptance. At the acceptance, it's like a fork in the road. At the acceptance, you can actually give up or go crazy in a good way. Like my friend who was told he was going to get blind, when he accepts, he goes crazy. He's like, well, I just have 4 years of sight. I might as well live it up.
Big time.
Then he decides to go and climb a mountain, which is like the Holy Grail, the World Cup, which everybody envies. Then he becomes a Paralympic cycling gold medalist, something he never did or dreamed of. But then there's the other side of the fork that could lead to depression, and the choice is yours. So denial, acceptance, you can go
fork in the road.
The fork in the road.
Biggest lesson in suffering?
Biggest lesson in suffering. If you suffer, you feel pain. If you feel pain, it means you're alive. If you're alive, remember that a living dog is better than a dead lion. That's Ecclesiastes 9:4. And to give a bit of clarity, in those times, dogs were not nice pets, and poodles, and my cousin, they have a dog at home. They take the dog to a place for them to bath the dog.
Chihuahuas and all those kind of.
At those times when somebody was described as a dog, the dogs were scavengers. They were the lowliest places. If someone was described as a dog, it means that person was worthless. That person was no good. A lion, on the other hand, you read the Bible, the Lion of Judah, that was royalty, that was strong, that was strength. So the living worthless person is better than the best person who is dead. If you have life, you have hope.
Greatest regret
in
this whole experience?
this whole experience. I actually don't have any regrets in this experience. I'm glad I got bent. I'm glad I went through the fire.
That's an incredible thing to say, you know?
Yeah. You don't say that when you're going through it. You say that 6 years after. When you're going through it, you don't see it that way.
No.
So anybody going through any struggle now, you will say, if you take the right side of the fork, I can boldly sit here and tell you, I'm glad I went through the fire.
But when you were going through it, something else.
Yeah.
The dressings alone, man.
Yeah. There's a song, maybe you can listen to it. It's called Better Man by Billy Gaines.
Hmm.
It says, on the other side of this trial, I'll be a better man. I will know the sweet deliverance of my Father's mighty hand. See, I've forgotten the words, so I'm singing the song in my head to remember.
You can sing it if you want.
Oh, no, people would know I can sing and all that. I don't want I'm not a music star yet. No, but it says, on the other side of this trial, I'll be a better man. I will know the sweet deliverance of my Father's mighty hand. I will have another battle won, upon which I can stand. You stand on victory, on victory, on victory, on victory. These days, I walk through, I'm like, I survived the fire. You can't do this to me. Charlie, fire yourself, I'll go through. What? You can't kill me, make I'll go.
Who are those guys in the Bible who survived the fire, man?
Oh, it was Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. But, these days, that's like what's the worst that can happen?
You hear the sound of whoop, and hey.
Yeah, I've sat naked in front of strangers.
Yeah.
Several times. People have held my thing to urinate to it. Charlie, like, what
again?
What kind of disgrace can you give me again?
Yeah, that's it.
So, yeah, I will have another battle won upon which I can stand.
Biggest surprise in your experience from 11th?
Charlie, the love people showed me. I didn't know people. Well, I didn't think people hated me. I didn't think my family hated me, but the love they showed to me, that was surprising.
Until you put your business on the line.
Well, I found that out recently. I didn't know she did that.
Doing at that time.
That's what she was doing at that time.
That was great.
I remember there was one person the person was mad at me for 2 years. They hadn't spoken to me, Charlie. I was in the hospital. I get my phone. I get a text. Oh, I'm sorry to hear what you went through. I was really broke. Hey, that was the biggest. That was a huge one. I couldn't believe what I was reading.
Big surprises.
Yeah.
Advice to caregivers.
Advice to caregivers. Ooh. Hey, what you do is important. We need you to be there. I'm here because of caregivers. And everybody else there who survived this. Here because of caregivers. So just understand that when you're addressing that wound, you're not just dressing a wound. You're rebuilding someone who's going back out there to impact the world. I've heard people read the book and give testimonies of how it's inspired them. I was alive because of caregivers. I'm back here because of caregivers. I'm able to write the book again because of caregivers. That's my message to them.
What were those nurses like? The ones who looked after you, man?
Oh, some were sweet and kind. Well, everybody had their own character, but there were two of them. I won't mention their name for some reason, but I wrote it in the book. I was like, I found a new respect for these guys, where especially the outpatient nurses, they dress wounds for the whole day. That's what they do. I sit in an office, air conditioned, I type. Sometimes I go to the field. It's nice. I do that for 12 hours, 8 hours a day. But for 8 hours, 6 hours, these guys are dressing wounds.
Yeah, in the stench.
That smell I said I smelled?
Yes.
That was just mine.
But
they're smelling this one, so they're smelling that person's
varieties.
own. And everyone has a different smell. Because it's different infection.
Like a fingerprint, eh?
Yeah. This one smells like a rotten egg. This one smells like somebody passed gas. This one smells like rotten tomatoes. Everyone has their own.
And they are in it.
And they do that from morning. But some of them did it like they loved it.
Yeah.
Some of them look for, bring the wound, let me dress it. Like, this guy.
Yeah, with passion, man.
Yeah, they do it. Like, some of them do it with passion, and you're like.
I spoke to a former U.S. military guy who said the definition of discipline in their training manual is the cheerful application of a given task.
Yeah.
Yes, do it cheerfully.
You know,
Even if you are mopping the floor or dressing wounds, do it happily. I guess that's what they were doing.
yeah, no. Some of them. Come, we are. Oh, come. Charlie, you'll be shocked.
Yeah.
Like you sit there and wonder, but this is a normal human being. Come, the wound is looking clean. How in the world do you say a wound is looking clean? I couldn't look at my own wounds. You know, for like the first few weeks, I'll go for dress and I'll scream my lungs out. I'll come and then my auntie or somebody like, oh, so how are your wounds looking like? I'm like, oh yeah, they are looking good. They are improving. Yeah. I couldn't look at, like, this is your own skin. You're asking me how my face looked like, right?
Yeah.
Now imagine me looking at my own hand. Hey. So it is this hand that now I can see the red under it and the blood.
It shocked you.
Yeah. So I didn't even look at it. And to start with, I can't stand looking at those things. So even for my own legs and arms, it took me a while to master the courage to see, okay, so how is this thing really doing? And then sometimes they open it and it has infection. So there's green here, there's yellow there, there's the red there. I'm not saying it's the Ghana flag, but
the color is there.
But the color is there. And then some black spots for inside.
Charlie.
And you look, then the yellows are in different shades too. But these nurses will look at it with joy. Oh, I'll clean it. I'll wash it for you. Then they'll finish. Then they'll call next. A person to come looks different.
You go tackle them
into getting your own nice smell.
Shout out to the nurses.
Then the good one. Charlie, serious. Charlie, shout out to the nurses.
Pierre, so imagine someone watching this interview lying in their hospital bed or facing a very dark season in their life. Look straight into that camera. What would you say to them?
Again, I'll start by saying that if you can feel pain, you have life. If you have life, you have hope. A living dog is better than a dead lion. That struggle you are going through is temporary. It's not permanent. It will end. You will get on the other side of this trial. The same God that took me through can take you through. So just know that that trial will end and you will flip on to the next page and you'll be a better man or woman.
Get the book, The Stench of Good News.
Yeah.
Shoot. Promote your own book. Same camera.
Please go to www.pierrekuma.com. You can get this book on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Book Nook, and on my website. But if you go to www.pierrekuma.com, just the way it's spelled, and go to book, you will get this book. If you want me to sign it as well, you can. I have a phone number there. You can call that phone number. You can send an email. And you can get in touch with me, and I'll get you a signed copy.
Last request. Who would you recommend that I interview next? Somebody has a great story that deserves to be told.
Does it have to be Ghanaian?
Doesn't have to be Ghanaian.
It doesn't have to be Ghanaian.
No, it doesn't have to be Ghanaian. We'll find the person.
I think he shouldn't. There are 3 names I'll give you.
Yeah.
I don't know if this lady is ready because she was 16 years. She's in her 20s. I don't know if she's ready. It takes a process.
Mm-hmm.
She's called Martha. She had acid burns.
Mm-hmm.
There's Lily Palacios. I'll send you the name later. That's the person I said was 80%, gave birth to that child, is married, has 2 more children. Then there is Harry Budamaga. He's from somewhere in Asia, went to US, part of the war, lost both of his legs, and went to climb Mount Everest with his prosthetic limbs.
Nice. Inspiring.
So I just have one Ghanaian, right?
No wahala for me.
Okay.
No problem.
Yeah.
People are people.
Yeah.
I thank you so much.
All right. You're welcome.
Really enjoyed this.
Yeah. You take 2 of the people I recommend already, so I had to think. That's why I had to think.
It be so.
So I had to think.
Hope you've enjoyed the conversation. I have. Let's meet in the comments. My name is Kafui. God bless.